All right, Lee Lockwood.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast, bro.
It's nice, isn't it? We just talk about how crazy the room is in here.
Mad, isn't it?
Never been in the studio before. I'm not big time like some of you. Like you two.
Do you know what the crazy thing is? I don't know, like people watching this, they probably think this is like in my living room or something like this.
I was like, when I first watched, I was like, where is that? Like, he's pretty
suave, a little bit suave or whatever.
I know, yeah.
But it's a serious little place, isn't it? Little
when you
setup.
said it was the cube, well, I'm not. Well, sorry, not.
Yeah, no, shout out to the cube. That's where we're at. Like, you know,
yeah, but it was like, oh, it's a proper studio. I thought it was just like most people just have like a little bedroom or just have like a fake wall in the background or something, you know.
Bro, I'm glad it had that effect because I love saying that. Yeah. Come down to my studio.
Everyone's saying hello. You all right? Done some water.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming, actually.
No, thanks, mate. I mean, I know you mentioned a minute ago that you people was asking you to come on and stuff, but I mean, I just obviously because I didn't know if you even knew or what. Obviously,
Stop
I knew.
it,
No,
not
like
a little bit
on Instagram and that.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one to reach out, you know. And you reached out, I was like, yeah, of course, that sounds great.
And that's what it's about. Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie, right? So, like I said to you, like with this podcast and like to the camera too, like it's been hard at this point now because of my automotive things going kind of like a million miles an hour, trying to find time for this and also trying to find the right guests that I feel people will be interested in and also myself will be interested in, like, you know what I mean? So I've actually reached out to a few guys who are on like the scene, the YouTube scene, shall we say. Some not as big in sub count as myself or whatever, bro, I've been aired.
Really?
Aids me, bro.
It's strange how it affects people. I mean, I'm not going to mention names, but I know some people who, you know, have grown up quite big recently, and people send them messages, and they just, you know, just. And I've never understood why people get like that. You know, it's at the end of the day, you're a guy filming yourself putting it on the internet. At the end of the day, so I don't know where this sort of entitlement comes from, to be honest.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. Because, like, I know you're a very down to earth lad, like, you know, like myself, but some people, it's like when they put themselves on camera, they do think they're some sort of a celebrity. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Bro, we just making fucking videos.
It's that drugging at the views.
Yeah.
You know, the views per day, you know, it goes up and it goes down. And people just, I mean, I've spoke to some other YouTubers and so I remember speaking to Matt Armstrong recently. This was before he like went crazy.
Yeah.
And then he was asking me, you know, about, because obviously he was asking me about quitting his job and stuff. And at the time, that's when he wasn't as big as he was now. And he's still mega humble. You know?
Yeah. Oh, bro, he's a lovely guy.
Yeah, I've never met him in person, but I speak to him a lot on Instagram and stuff, and yeah, he's a nice guy.
No, he's a top guy.
But the main thing I was saying to him, I was just like, just be safe, because honestly, YouTube's like in it up and down. I mean, bro, you stay pretty up constantly. I know me, I've been. Bro,
do you know what? Right, I kind of feel like, all right, cool. I feel like I'm always steadily growing. Yeah. But you're right in saying, I think everyone goes through a kind of a patch, or perhaps in their YouTube career, unless you're whacking out the maddest content every week, it is a little bit like up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
But that up and down, do you know what's mad actually? Yeah, this is a little bit weird, but do you see? You obviously look at your analytics through YouTube Studio and things like that. So, like, I'm glued to it to see how my videos are doing, how they compare to the last 10 at a certain time point, and this and that, the other. And if you look at it like a graph view, and for instance, you're getting a video's fucking sick, and then next one's down there, and next one's up. Bro, it's also a little bit like your mental state too. Because it fucking puts you in a weird state of mind, bro.
Mate, honestly, if your views are bad for a while, you start feeling a bit depressed. Bro. I mean, I've been through that.
Bro, I haven't been through it terribly, but now I would even say my views are a little bit down. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, to be honest, mate, I wouldn't even think about it, because literally in the past like 2 months or so, I mean, my views have been terrible the past couple of months, like really bad. And I'm just like, I'm not sure why, but then I've been speaking to a load of Adam C. Oh, sorry with the mic. Adam C. I've been seeing a lot of things on Instagram. I saw a YouTuber the other day in America who's got 500,000 subs. Yeah. And she was getting like 8K in a day. And I was like, is something wrong? And then seen a lot of people put in, and then I looked into it, and apparently they changed the algorithm recently. So if I have looked, and then my like one day I had like 18,000 views on Instagram story, and the next day I got 4, and I was like, how is that possible? A day apart.
This is the thing. This is the thing.
You just can't. So I mean, I got to a point where sometimes I was thinking, I can't be structuring it anymore. I'm just gonna do what I do, and
I guarantee that video does amazing.
Yeah,
the one you don't care about.
That's the thing, because sometimes you got your views are amazing, and it's like, oh, I'm the bollocks, you know, I'm the man. Yeah. And then it comes down, and then you start getting depressed. And it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna do something fun, and then it starts going back up again. Yeah.
But there's no rhyme or reason. And to tell the truth, like, I feel like I'm fairly mentally stable. But if I was an unstable person and views are like, as I say, they kind of affect me, but if I was unstable, like, the views would mess me up, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm a very confident guy. I mean, I used to be a butler in the buff about 5 years.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
God,
We're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Worms there, mate.
Do you remember you talking about research and all that? I didn't research the fact that you've done that because I followed you for a long time.
You've been looking at that, Jamie.
I've been watching. One of your biggest fans here, bro. Nah, joking. But do you know what's mad actually? And going back to the views, and like, not a lot of people will really be able to kind of understand what we're talking about to a certain extent because we do. It's just we live and breathe it, and you kind of do have to live and breathe it to kind of.
It's like having a normal job and watching your pay just going down.
Are you full time in this? No, you're not. You are. You're not.
Well, I've got some things on the side as well.
Okay.
So we spoke about the giveaway company that I had.
Yeah, shout out, bro. Shout out.
Well,
you're not doing it anymore.
Had.
Oh shit.
So I'm not going to shout that out. And then I've got the rally company as well. True Rally. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
And obviously COVID killed that for the past like 2 years almost. So just starting that back up now. So I had some other things on the side. I'm sure you know it is.
Yeah.
You just use YouTube as like
it's a great promotional tool. Yeah.
That's
100%.
it. So I mean, I can't just say I do you, and then obviously do stuff for Green Line, as you know.
Yeah.
The insurance. So
for real. So what, you're the insurance plug, yeah?
Hook
me up, yeah?
insurance.
All right, cool. Yeah, sick. But like talking about views, for the first time this happened to me, and I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I couldn't really find a reason as to why this happened. But I got one of my I don't know if you call it shadow banned or like.
Okay.
I got one of my videos that happened to one of my videos. And
is that where YouTube aren't really liking what you're uploading, so they just put it to the back, but don't actually say it's been put to the back?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what video it was, right? So, and again, like, I'm quite biased that I think the content I generally put out is pretty decent. So I kind of expect it to do well to a certain extent. I dropped this video and it just like straight away, it was like 10 out of 10 lowest of the last kind of 10 videos. Right?
We don't want that,
and I'm like, wow, that's mad. And then at this point, right, here's a little tip for other YouTubers, and I'm not sure if you know yourself, but what I'll do is I'll change the thumbnail, I'll change the title, I'll just flick it around just to see if anything happens. And sometimes you can revitalize a video by doing that, right? I'm doing it to this video, nothing's happening. So it's dead. And next thing you know, it gets ad suitability. So basically, it's like, you know when you can monetize a video?
Yeah.
And I think you get a $sign in green.
Green is when it's all right.
When it's all right, right?
Did it go yellow?
It went yellow.
Is that because you're swearing in it or something?
No. So I'm very good in my videos swearing-wise, right? If I swear, if it slips out, I'll bleep it or I'll cut it out or whatever, like, you know what I mean? So there was none of that. And they said I went against community guidelines, yeah? And I'm like...
Driving or something?
But bro, all of my, like this was, I analysed it and I kind of thought through.
There's no different structurally than what you usually do. Yeah, right.
And then you really start digging deep and you think, what could have been this? It could have been that. And I don't know. It's like, and when you see that and you can't really work out what's affecting it, what's causing it.
That's the worst thing. You don't know how to stop it from the future.
Bro. And I'm like, this kind of video is my bread and butter.
Yeah. If all and stuff.
What happens if it happens to all of them?
It's like the OnlyFans thing now, isn't it? What's that?
What do I tell me about the OnlyFans? God, I don't know about that lifestyle, bro.
No. Oh well, you must see it on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. So apparently, OnlyFans are banning sexually explicit content from October. No sexually explicit content from October. I don't know if it's some people have been saying it, but I've seen other people already started making the moves over. But I suppose it's like that. Like if they start banning driving videos, or whatever.
Oh, bro,
like,
it's game over.
Yeah,
Catch me literally taking your bin and putting it on the back of the bin truck.
The good thing you have though is that you do stuff to your own cars as well, which some other reviewers
they don't. Yeah.
So like they've got all the rags in one basket there. So
do you know what happens though? Is do you see like you start your YouTube channel on a certain kind of based on a certain thing? For instance, mine was more so car reviews. Yeah. As opposed to, although alongside was bits to my own car, like I would say the general amount of people on my channel probably subscribe to see my reviews because it's kind of, I feel, what I've built the channel on. So if anything was to happen to my bread and butter reviews, going back to just my own cars, I don't feel like I would have the same support behind it.
It's so annoying because like where my channell grew was me being, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear in it or not,
swear the fuck
me
out
being a
of this
dickhead on the driveway, not knowing what I was doing on my own driveway and just you know. And then like as I've grew up and stuff and grew up, I've just moved down south and things change. People miss that natural like environment and although I'm still doing the same things pretty much, maybe just different cars, I'm not on the driveway and it's a little thing like that could just change the whole.
But do you know what the mad thing is? We all want to grow, we all want to expand. But, and shout out to my subscribers and shout out to your subscribers, but sometimes the hardcore ones who subscribe to you for that initial stuff that you started making, they don't like to see you. I don't think out of like malice. They don't like, for instance.
I think it's like they're losing nostalgia around it or something.
Yeah. They're like, oh, he's changed now. Yeah. He's doing this now. He's not the same and things like that. And it's like, look, if you worked a normal 9 to 5, you want to kind of go up the ranks from, you know, the bottom of, let's say you're working in Sainsbury's, you're stacking the shelves. You don't always want to stack the shelves. You might love it, but it would be nice to perhaps progress in life and like answer other opportunities. For instance, you'd like to be the store manager, like for a lot of reasons, maybe most people. And everyone would see that in a normal career as, you know, progression, and they'd support you in that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's a good thing. But moving up the ranks in YouTube and progression in life, and whether it be monetary or whether it be you know, cars, or what in our kind of thing, it would be like a new car, a better car, or an expensive car. Yeah. They're not feeling that. They don't want, they're like, nah, bro, like stack them shelves.
That's why it's difficult for me, because everyone loves like the cheap, like the Japanese stuff. So that's where it's all come from for me, like the Evos, the Soras, all the Subarus. That's where it's really like grew for me, from because of that, like me pissed about like Evos and stuff on the drive. Whereas like I'm a bit older now, so like me driving around in a fully Black Series polybushed bright purple Evo. It's I want something a bit more comfort now. Like, I've had years and years of But then people like want the Japanese stuff, and it's like, oh, what do you do? What do you do?
And the mad thing is, the Japanese things are the ones that are probably going to get the views still. But you want
crazy money now.
Do you know what I mean?
Like when I got my Evo, it was like 10k. I got my Evo for less than that. I got my Evo for less than Evo 8. I got it for 8,700 quid. You couldn't even find one now for like less than 15. So it's like, what? If there was that much money, potentially it could just be a sidecar. It's like now the 15, 20 grand.
Now it's got to be
now
the
it's your main car. You know, because I've not got that much money. I'm just you know, I've grew up just getting cheap fucking cars. So it's like oh yeah, you all want to see buy your Evo back. I ain't got just fucking 20k just sat in me.
Bro, this is the thing,
pocket,
right? Look,
you know what I mean?
Look, I honestly love the YouTube game and all that, and it is hard work sometimes. And sometimes I think us being YouTubers, we think into it a little bit more than your average person.
Definitely,
and sometimes people leave comments that are throwaway comments that might get loads of likes by other people, and it's like, man, you just do not understand what you're talking about. Like, but like in the nicest way, like I understand that, you know, people subscribe to see certain things, and if that's what they like, when you start to change it up, maybe they won't like it. Like, you know what I mean? So, but they gotta be, you got the diehard ones that do support you, and they're like, they see your growth and they're like, bro, that's sick. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not even saying from a place where I get a lot of that. I haven't got a lot of that, and if I have, I feel like people haven't been vocal about it, which is blessed. Maybe it's I've
so
got really,
people haven't been vocal to you in what sense?
Like for instance, I started with a Golf R on my channel. I started with an A45 actually. I went to a Golf R, and then the progression to now one of my cars is a 911 Turbo S, right? Yeah. And I feel like I've been so lucky. Maybe it's the way I conduct myself. Maybe it's because I feel like I'm still a bloody real person, and you know, this game and this kind of extra attention that I get wouldn't change me, because I already, bro.
That's good.
The thing is, bro, like I've been doing YouTube for 3.5 years. Yeah, I'm 32. I've done 29 years of normalness. And being one of the boys. Can't change me, bro, because I've done life. Do you know what I mean? It can change certain people because they crave this kind of thing, and finally when they got a platform, that's when they can actually become the cunt they want to be. Like, do you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? And I feel like just for me anyway, like, you know, just doing what I'm doing now is just, I'm humble with it.
No, you are honestly, man. Like,
even
like I'm messaging you on Instagram and I'm meeting you today, like you, and on your videos, you a really humble guy. Which
thank you, bro. I appreciate it. And likewise, 100% likewise. I haven't really heard any bad things about you. So
really? Wow.
Well, you reckon you got quite a lot? Well, look. I tell you what. I know one thing is you're I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. Okay. But one thing that comes to mind when I think about Lee Lockwood is he's a ladies' man.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. But that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. And in fact, I was going to ask you a little bit more about that.
Okay. Girlfriend's going to be watching this. But
oh, say that again. Your girlfriend's going to be.
Oh, yeah. She will do. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I'll just skip this bit. So it's like, I will put a block on. Just give me the timestamps.
Yeah, don't
give
watch
me the timestamps, Jamie.
No, in fact, you know what? We'll come back to that bit in a bit, right?
No, I don't mind. She's cool. It's
wicked. So basically, what I like to do is, we just got into it there, rolling, right? Which is cool. But what I like to do with my guests is obviously. And going back to what I was saying, I've done this for like 3.5 years. But before that, bro, like I was a normal guy, and I still am a normal guy, but I had a life before that. So I kind of like to get into people's heads and hear what they were doing before the YouTube game. And like, you know, like what was my tagline? I had a really good tagline. It was the person behind the personality. Okay. There you go.
It's interesting because I'm sure, as you know, you do have to adopt it is yourself, but it's a bit more extroverted version of yourself, I would say, on camera.
You've got to.
So it does, like, because people always think, oh, Lee Lockwood, dickhead, he shags a load of girls, whatever, which I definitely don't. I mean, that has come from just doing the reviews, the girl reviews, because I think the first, like, that's the one, like, I think I did a girl car review, and it went boof, like 500,000. And then, like, so I was like, that's a good formula. That's a good formula.
Yeah.
So then I just started doing all the girl car reviews. And I'm good mates with the girls that like, all the OnlyFans guys. I am good mates with them. So it just kind of, like, adapted. This thing turned into, oh, you shag every girl you do a review. I was like, how do you think life works?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, just film a video in the back. Or it does not work like that, exactly, you know. I mean, I've had a few girls, I've had a few girls on and labelled them as girlfriends and stuff. But don't forget, that's been over, like, 3 years. And there's been, like, 3 girls. That's like one, you know. It's not bad. I'm not like a, or maybe I just come across as a bit of a dickhead.
But do you know what the mad thing is? If you were like, let's even say you were shagging them all, which you ain't, or like you just said. See, if you were doing this and you weren't on camera, do you know how many people would be rating you? They'd be like, bro, Lee Lockwood's bad man. You see these fucking, bro, he's shagging.
Well, some people are like that, you know.
Okay, cool, fair play. You're always gonna get a mix, isn't it?
Yeah.
But bro, where did you grow up?
In a place called Warrington near Manchester. It's between Manchester and Liverpool.
Okay.
So that's where I grew up, and it does actually tie in with the channel, really, because I mean, I didn't even, I loved cars. Like, I used to, like, draw, like, painting wheels when I was like 8. I remember doing that and, like, sticking spoilers onto, like, little toy cars. I remember that. And then I only really started doing YouTube and stuff when I left uni, when I was like 21.
How old are you now?
26.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, so it was a bit late. I must have been like 22, 23 when I started just putting videos up.
Got you.
And at the time, like, this is what people look. I could only afford to have one car.
Yeah.
I had a job at. I went to uni to want to be a teacher. Then I had a year out, and then in those couple of years, that's when I started doing YouTube. But I only had one car, and, like, if I didn't fix that car that night, I couldn't get to work in the morning. Wow. So people like that stress. Obviously, people like seeing people in pain on YouTube. You know, everyone loves negativity on YouTube.
Exactly, bro.
It sells, doesn't it?
100%.
That's where it was. It'd be me in the piss wet through with this big green fucking jacket on. People used to call it the famous green jacket. This is when my views were good, Jamie.
Stop it.
And then people miss that, but I'm a bit old now. Like, I can't replicate that because I don't have that stress of having one car. I don't particularly want that stress of having one car because that was so stressful for me. Like, I'd snap a bolt at like 9:30 at night and I needed that in the car at 8 in the morning, and I'd film it, and that's what people loved. And me just angry, but you can't live like that.
What was the So I think, and I don't know how long ago this was, but when I saw one of your first videos, I feel like it was a Megane 225.
Oh, the Megane, mate. It was an R26, so it was the 225, but it was the 231, which has got the Recaros in, and it was like the tracker spec version of it. R26, more, mate. Like,
that's the one I I kind of took notice. I was like, okay, this is
I remember looking back at the videos. I'd like film on my phone, but with like the front camera, which was like definitely not 1080p.
Oh man!
And then I look back, I'm like, what? How is this even? How can you even watch this? It's crazy. But people like that. But that was the biggest growth in the channel, that R26.
Okay.
And that was because I had so much excitement, mate. Like, I mean, I love cars. But when you're even younger, you love them even more.
Of course.
And that was like the first. I always remember I had mates when I was like 15, 16. And I was like, I can't wait to get a car that goes. That was it.
Trust me, bro. That was a big
mate,
thing.
That was the biggest thing.
My first car actually done that too.
Yeah, your first ever car. Must be nice. Must be nice, mate.
It was an RS Turbo. Escort RS Turbo.
Your first car was an Escort RS Turbo.
Yes.
How old was you?
I was 19.
And you had an I
had an Escort RS Turbo. But, so I've told this story a few times. So basically, I come off a ban. Yeah, I was on a ban for a long time. Yeah. So I was on a ban from when I was 17.
Right.
Yeah,
Are we getting into that or we're not?
I ain't saying why I was on a ban. I was on a ban. Like, I was on the ban.
A bad ban.
I was on a bad ban. So when I come off, right, I was looking at car insurance. I was looking at 1 litres and all that, doing quotes, and bro, it was coming back killer. I'm like, I'm gonna struggle to get 1 litre, but I'm kind of at peace with it, just as long as I'm on road.
Yeah.
At these times, I got my freedom, and I'll just be a static guy. Do you see what I'm saying? I'll make it look good, and I don't have to go fast, like, you know what I mean. But then one of my mates. And we all got the mate that can, he's got links and he can do this and do that.
The slick geese.
Yeah. Shout out to Greenlight, actually, because it weren't Greenlight.
Oh.
Like, shout out to the insurance guy. But he was like, bro, I can get any car insured for £500. Any car. I thought, my prayers have been answered. Like, you know what I mean? So then I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm kind of, you always doubt these kind of things, but I thought at this point,
I would definitely would have doubted that.
You know what I mean? I thought, what have I got to lose?
Yeah,
I've got £500 to lose. That's about it. But I thought, right.
19 as well.
19. All it's going to cost is £500 for my insurance. I can buy, within my kind of price range, I can buy whatever car I want. And at these times, my favourite cars were Renault 5 GT Turbos.
Oh, yeah,
right?
sick, yeah.
Absolutely loved one. 1.4 turbo. They were just sick. They were like the proper little hot hatch
like a
pocket
little
rocket.
cardboard box.
So sick,
proper
bro.
like
so sick.
proper old school styling. Yeah,
and I remember back then, I think there was one with like 250 brake that was around the area, or someone's mate had it. And it was just the way people's eyes lit up when they talked about this car and R5. Because I kind of vibe with people's energy. So when I'll go to like car meets in the time when I was banned, so I weren't driving, but I was going with my pals, like you'd watch what cars come into the meet and you'd see how people react and who's watching this, that, the other. And R5 turbos were like the one.
Yeah.
So I really,
still are,
they still are, bro. Like one day I'll get one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But fucking hell, money now.
Yeah, they are.
But back then, so I had a £2,500 budget, right? So this is what I could spend on my first car. It was a loan. Like, you know what I mean? I had no money back then. I worked and all that, but it was still hard. To save £2,500.
19, really.
Woo, that would be hard.
Yeah.
I couldn't see any R5 turbos for £2,500. So I was like, what else do I love? I was thinking RS turbos. I wanted the Fiesta. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
They were kind of too much money at the time.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around and I saw an XR3i Cabriolet that had an RS turbo conversion. Full engine, a 1.6 turbo in it, all the sides. It was literally
for £2,500.
For £2,500.
Jesus.
Yeah? It was literally a replica. Yeah, like complete replica. Recaros on the inside, everything. It's like an RS turbo had been nicked.
It's probably cheaper buying one.
It was literally.
Yeah,
you know
then converting that.
You know what I'm saying? So I bought this. Sorry, it weren't that straightforward. So I went to see the car. And I put 200 quid on it, yeah, because I loved it. I went down with a mate who had an actual RS turbo too. So you know when you go down to see a car, right, and you rock up in the same car, but like a proper version, just to let them know you mean
this
business.
guy might know what he's talking about.
You see what I'm saying? So I got my mate to look over it, and he said it was a good one. So I gave the guy a £200 deposit. At this time, the loan hadn't dropped, so I had applied for the loan, but I hadn't got the money.
Bro, making an excuse.
Bro, I kept the guy waiting.
Need to wait till the money transfers my savings.
Literally. I don't even think I told him that. Or maybe I did, but I kept him waiting for 3 weeks. Just imagine someone gave me
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Bro, he called me. He was like, bro, I'm going to sell this car, bro. He goes, look, you can even have your deposit back. I'm like, no, bro, please. Anyway, money come through and I got the car. And, bro, I used to love it. At 19, the main thing was, it was standard power, but it had a Bailey dump valve on it, right? I think 140.
Like proper old school ones.
Yeah, bro. But when I changed it wasn't even that fast. But what you could hear is the turbo spooling up, and when you change it, and bro, I'm like 140 brake horsepower back in the day. That was actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like people were rating me. I remember someone saying, shout out to my boy Elliot, right? And his older brother. I remember him saying, because his older brother was a proper car nut and he used to hang around with the cool car guys and all that. And they were like 5 years above us. So their knowledge and kind of understanding the scene was way above ours. And I remember him saying to me, bro, if you can drive an RS turbo for your first car, you can drive anything.
Yeah, it's a nice...
That's what he said.
It's a nice CV to have, isn't it? First car.
And he was like, you'll be able to drive anything. So I was like, oh, fucking hell, I'm Superman because I can drive this car. Like, you know what I mean?
It's 140 brake front wheel drive.
You know what I mean? Like, but I used to think I was the man in that car, but I loved it. It actually had a funny thing on it, right? So it had a bad earth. And we could never find this bad earth, yeah? And it was so mad. Sometimes, when you turn the headlights on, the engine cut out.
Oh
so,
my
bro,
God.
If it was nighttime,
you're fucked.
You can drive with no lights or you can't drive. It's one of those ones. I went to Southend one day in it, actually.
All right, yeah.
I was down on the
strip. Shout out Southend.
Shout out to, bro, because that's what it was back then. Like the car meets services and things like that. So the car meets were down there. And I remember being on the seafront. And my party trick in that car was clutch kicking it and fucking doing a burnout. And then like busting it like that. So they see all this little mix race
I've got like the sound of like a 1J in my head now. like a big single turbo 1J chaser.
It definitely weren't that. It probably sounded a lot better to me than it sounded a lot better to other people.
Like everyone's cars does, you know?
Do you know what I mean? But I remember being down on the seafront and I remember like the car was fine. The headlights were working and it was nighttime and I turned it off. I can't remember what I'd done, but when I turned it back on and turned the headlights, boom, they died. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, do I drive home from Southend with no headlights, bro? Like, and that's a 2-hour journey on the motorway.
Oh, that's dangerous, mate.
And what happened? In the end, I think that time we had to get it recovered. But there was another time when I was on the way out to a club, right? And this club was miles away. But I had to pick up my mate first, and then we were going to drive to the club, leave my car there, get pissed, and then get a cab home. You thought I was going to say, and drive home, innit?
No, not on camera, mate.
But this time, I picked him up, and then it done the same thing. And bro, I drove about 30 miles with no headlights, bro, at night, just the hazards on. Straight up.
What would you imagine if you get pulled in that situation? What would they say? Like,
I don't know. What can you say?
It's dangerous driving, mate. Get it fucking trailer.
They'd probably say something like,
"What are you doing?"
Bro, that car was a bit of a death trap actually, but I loved it. And the thing is, with I think your first car, it always keeps a fond place in your heart.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Especially when you got one as cool as yours. And mine was a 1997 1.2 Mark 1 Clio.
Oh, really?
I got for 300 quid, yeah.
That's not a terrible car.
Oh, I mean, it's
not a bad car.
At this time, I didn't really know.
No, that's the square shape. Like the Williams.
Yeah, the Williams one, that shape. Yeah, but Dad actually had a Williams. But, oh, mate, I remember when I had that car. I didn't know what modifying car. I was 17 at the time. So I remember going to Halfords, and you know them like screw and exhaust tips?
Oh, yeah,
I genuinely believe that's what people had to make the car sound louder. So I remember screwing this fucking thing on, and then I remember my mate, I was like, rev it. I was like, oh, yeah, it sounds good. And I remember getting these LED strips off eBay and super glued them underneath. And
oh, man. What,
wheel trims.
Oh, man.
Yeah, not underglow. I only did underglow later.
Okay,
and I did a video, put that on my Fiesta ST, and that did quite well on YouTube, actually. It's always the videos that you don't expect.
Exactly.
Oh, mate, I've got one video over 1 million views, and it is the worst video I've ever done in my entire life. Oh, mate, it's so embarrassing. It was at the time, I must have been quite young, and I did a video, how to make your car pop and bang. But it was just like, the if you want a video that has the whole wrong information.
Oh, really?
Watch that
it's
one.
Complete misinformation on it.
Terrible, mate. Absolutely terrible.
Break it down, in fact. So what were you trying to make pop and bang? So and what were you telling people
I had a Fiesta and I was explaining to people in the video how to do it with your foot, but obviously now that's just how that car fucking did it. You know, I was like, this is what you got to do with the throttle. You know, he's got to be at this certain revs, and if you're downhill, it works. But you know, I'm like, what? Shit. And then luckily enough, I say in the end of the video, I'm like, you know, if you wanted to do it properly, you have to get your car mapped with it. And then I was like, well, thank God I fucking said that. You know, at least there's a tiny bit of truth at the end of the video.
And
terrible video.
It got over 1 million views.
Over 1 million views, got posted in all of the Facebook groups for the wrong reasons, of course.
Really? So
everyone's like, look at this dickhead.
Misinformation.
Yeah, but it's one of them, isn't it, mate? You know.
But do you know what the thing is? Sometimes, even if you're hating, you're paying attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's one of them. It's like all media's good media, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get over it. But a lot of people still say they come from that video. So I'm like, well, glad I left it up. It's still up. If anyone wants to go and watch it, it is the worst thing you'll watch. It's my number one most views video.
That's mad. That is mad. So also talking about views and videos and kind of going back a little bit to the girls and that. All your other videos, or your high viewing videos, you're saying are kind of with the girls and that. Yeah.
I think there's maybe 2 or 3 who are in my top 10 most viewed videos.
Okay.
There's Kate's Fiesta. Do you know? Have you heard of that Fez gal?
Yeah.
Her, Xavier Brooke.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard about bad things, good things. Look, I don't if she's watching this, I don't know her from Adam. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've heard bad and good. No, hang on. Actually, I ain't heard no good. Sorry. I'm not even taking a piss. I just haven't heard anything.
That's an intro right there, Jamie.
You know her.
Do not anger her, Jamie.
Oh, really?
Trust me. Do not anger.
Do you know when you don't know someone,
nice.
but you only hear?
Yeah.
I don't know her from Adam. So
no, I know her very well, mate. I don't want to, I don't really want to talk about her too much, but yeah, she's nice. You just don't want to be on the wrong side of her.
Oh, really?
No.
Sorry, Xavier.
But she's really nice if you're being nice with her. If she trusts you. And
we need to get. I had Becky Evans on.
Oh yeah.
Lovely girl.
Yeah,
lovely
really nice girl. Yeah.
And I think as far as girls kind of being on my platform anyway, there's been they're missing basically. I need more, but like for the right reasons, if that makes sense, just to kind of get their perception. And I know this. Xavier Brooks is Xavier, yeah, or Xavier.
Xavier, yeah.
Xavier. She's quite well known as a girl in the scene.
Definitely, yeah.
But from what I'm hearing, and again, no disrespect, is not for the reasons.
Yeah, no, you can say. Yeah, I think you can.
I'd love to get her on and sit her down and kind of just go through the misinformation.
I think you'll be surprised when you speak to her.
I bet she's a lovely
Positively,
girl.
you'll
I bet she's a lovely girl.
Yeah,
I bet she is.
I mean, she did go. I mean, obviously, I've said all this to her face. She did go through a stage where she wasn't a very nice person.
Okay.
But I've spoke to her about this and stuff, and she's quite honest about that now. But yeah, she's nice now, but she's not got a good the best reputation of the car scene, and that's just because something that happened at a car meet ages ago. I'm not going to go into it. It's not really my place. But
do you know, I'm not even acting dumb. I have no clue. You can tell me maybe after or off camera, but I have no clue.
It was I mean, I don't even know the full story. Okay. But it was just something that happened bad at a car scene, not like in like a sexual disrespectful way or anything like that. It's just if anyone knows, it was involved in like a car crash. But that's where it, like, all the hate comes from her.
Okay.
And then obviously people, for some reason, people don't like people who do OnlyFans, do they? I mean, don't bother me. I don't care. I'm pretty sure you're the same way. If you make
everyone,
money,
bro, if you can make money off it, capitalize. Yeah, exactly, no, I mean, everyone has different morals at the end of the day. Like, you know, if you speak to a Christian, God-fearing person, they might say it's not the right thing. But bro, like, things have changed. Times have changed, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Do your thing.
Yeah.
If it empowers you, more power to you. Like, and if you can make money off it at the same time, do it. And I guarantee half of these guys are hating and watching her videos or whatever she does. I don't know what she does, but they're probably watching that shit.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of the OnlyFans girls say the ones that give them more shit, the ones who are actually buying your stuff.
Yeah.
Because have you? Because I know a lot of the OnlyFans girls very in a friendly way.
Yeah.
And like they have this thing where it's like all the guys like to be told how small the dick is.
Hey?
On OnlyFans, I swear down.
They have this, like, it turns them on to know that
it turns them on. So apparently they have this rate my small dick or something.
What the?
So it makes sense. Like these guys who go want to be like verbally abused by these girls, and they're probably the one given the.
Yeah, bro.
It's weird, mate. Honestly,
I was speaking to Becky about this kind of thing. Yeah. Like when I sat down with Becky, I hadn't heard anything bad about her prior.
No,
like, I just thought she was a really cool girl, right? So, but when I sat down with her, I was speaking to her, I found it so hard to find a reason why a guy would want to say anything negative to her. But yet she gets loads of hate from guys.
She gets
hate from guys for her achievements. I feel
right.
Like, like she's got a nice car. You don't deserve that. This, that, the other. But she's a hardworking, clever girl who's a petrol head.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean.
In regards to all the girls out there on Instagram at the minute, no offense to people who do OnlyFans, but she's the one who probably does deserve it the most.
Bro, I'm telling you. But still, like, guys, and it comes from guys. It's not girls hating. Mostly, she said. Anyway, it's guys.
Not deserve the hate. I meant deserve the cars.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I found it weird that guys would want to kind of do that. But do you know what I think it is? I think, do you know on Instagram, you can see when someone's read your message, it says seen, right? To know that in some way, shape or form, this guy has maybe said something negative and she's seen it. Could have possibly affected her day, whatever it might be, negative or good. They get a buzz from that, knowing they've had a little connection. Do you see what I'm saying? And I feel like it might be the same in a way. Well, if you're talking about it's guys with issues for like the OnlyFans girls, it could be a kind of thing like they, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's just they want that connection, whether it be them saying bad things about the girl or good things. Like, you know what I mean?
It's weird. Like, have you had any like bad comments or bad messages or anything like that?
Bro, do you know what? Yeah, I'll be real with you. Like, my channel seems to get quite a lot of positivity. And I think that's because I'm quite straight down the middle. I don't try to offend this person. I don't try to offend that. I keep it kind of just on cars, and we're just talking about cars. And look, don't get me wrong, bro. You'll never, you know this on YouTube, you'll never be able to please anyone.
No.
But as far as like bad comments, I don't get a lot. Now and again, I get from like, obviously my vocabulary when I'm fucking speaking, or when I get excited, I'll chat shit. I'll say bro, I'll say bruv and things like that.
People moan about that?
They do. I mean, do you know what the thing is, bro? Like, you can only be a product of your environment and the environment you grow up in. I'm from Northwest London. And I'm not saying that exactly like everyone around me was like fucking speaking like slang, gangness, or whatever, like gang talk or whatever they call it. Talking black is a big one, like, you know what I mean? But look, my friends, the people I grew up, and most of my peers and everyone around me, we speak with a certain, we speak a certain way. And when we get excited, when we start getting excited and chat, like we use these terms, like, you know what I mean? But you got to realize when you're on YouTube,
though, isn't it? Like,
it's me. But when you realize that, you know, your videos are going out to hundreds of thousands of people in UK who might come from small villages and from this. Do you know what I mean? They're not. They think, oh, this guy's trying to be a gangster. He's trying to be a rude boy. No, it's how I talk. And when I get excited, it comes out a little bit more. So now and again, we get a little bit of that. But I don't pay it no mind because I'm quite... Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I say I don't pay it no mind, but it gets you a little bit, so you try.
It's one of them, innit? Like, I feel like everyone, especially doing YouTube, like everyone, you're always going to get shit at some point. I mean, I've been through stages where I've had tons of it, like tons of it.
What's the main...
I'm not really sure, to be honest. Don't know. If I try to pinpoint a certain thing, I'm not quite sure. Really? I think it's because sometimes I maybe have got myself involved with some drama.
Okay.
Not like knowingly, but sometimes I just can find it hard to keep my mouth shut. And then I just making some like weird decisions on things, and I don't know, to be honest. Yeah. Especially when I was a bit younger on YouTube, I was a bit like that. Now I don't really get much at all, to be honest.
Really?
Not much at all now, but I definitely did get a lot. And you go through stages. I mean, it did used to affect me like quite a lot. It just used to piss me off.
Yeah.
And then after a while, you just kind of just get used to the shit, you know.
That's
and
it.
It's like whatever.
That's it.
And then the more that you show you're not really bothered by, the less it comes.
Exactly. They like to know that you've been affected. I guess. But yeah, no. Going back to it, I mean, as far as like hate on YouTube, I don't. You randomly get the random person, but bro, I just fucking delete the comment and block them. Like, you know what I mean? I straight up block people.
I remember when I first found the hide user from channel. Oh mate,
bro! If I went and looked how many people have been hid from my channel, bro.
But it's the best thing ever, because I remember there was a few videos I was getting. When I first got the Evo, I started getting loads like, "Oh, you fucking ruining that car! You shouldn't be doing all this to it." And I'm like, "What? Do you want me to just film a new video of doing a walk round outside and coming back in?" Anyway, so I started like biting back at someone. I used to get a few of them which kept commenting every single video, and I remember finding that hide user channel. So if anyone doesn't know what hide user channel is. Basically, if you get a comment, you can hide user channel. Now they can still comment.
So can they? Yeah. I don't even know what's happening.
No, yeah, mate. So they can still comment, but no one will see it. So I just imagine. Is
that what happens?
Yeah.
Do we see it?
No one can see it. So it doesn't block their comments. So they can still watch the video. You still get a view. Cheers, lads. And then so I just imagine this one guy like typing out this big long message, you're a fucking wanker, and then just pressing send and like refreshing the page, see how many likes he's got, and then there's just none there, and I'm like,
oh man,
but so he thinks he's commented.
Yes,
that's the
bro,
best
I
thing
wasn't
about
sure
it.
how it worked.
No,
bro.
yeah, I remember Googling it once. When I first went out, I was like, oh my god, yes. I was like, going down 3 days.
Do you know there's another one that you can block keywords? You know, like if someone mentions a word. I haven't used it, but I've been told.
Used it. I mean, there's not really a keyword that I would.
Exactly.
That is,
yeah. But for instance, say it was you got into a fight or something with someone. That person's name in a comment.
Right.
Apparently, that.
Did you learn this from the people who had a fight?
I might have learned it, maybe.
Right. Okay.
I think. No, hang on. Actually, I don't want to say that. Hang on. Wait. I'm trying to think. Maybe.
Right.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. But basically, so you have the ability, if they mention something,
smart,
for them not to see it. That's it. I still can't find that you know YouTube Studios, like fucking bro, there's so much to it.
So deep.
I haven't found that yet, but apparently you can do that too. So that's a good way to keep the dickheads off your page.
Yeah. But it's one of them though, isn't it? Because like comments get their algorithms, so you don't want to start blocking every single person's comment. I had a rule, like if people want to chat shit, they chat shit. If they start getting personal, like bringing me mum or his sisters into it or something like that, 100%. Or whatever, then fuck off.
100%,
you know what I mean?
100%. Mine's like what I get now and again is I get like race, which is
right.
It's not a lot. But like now and again, you get the racial one. I'm like, block, like straight away.
Yeah. Oh,
and bro, I'm one of those people who I don't bite back. But bro, I find myself writing out messages, ready to send. Yeah. Sometimes I send them, and I'm like, what are you doing? Delete.
Yeah, delete it quick.
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
When you're in the moment, next morning, shit, what am
I doing? Like, you know what I mean? But listen, going back to the girls.
Okay.
I'm not going to linger on it too much, but because
it's cool. I don't mind.
You know the girl car scene better than me.
Yeah.
I feel. Because you're kind of a little bit more in tune with it. You've made videos with girls. You probably you've got mates who are girls in the scene. I haven't really. I wanted to know your kind of thoughts on the scene.
Okay.
With girls. What's your thoughts? If I know, hang look.
So
I don't want to generalize because people could say girls could turn around, or someone could say like what a guy's like in a car scene. So without generalizing.
No, yeah. I mean, I can give examples of people, not obviously say the names.
Yeah.
I mean, I know because from the butlering. I like, it's kind of weird because I've not really had that many guy mates.
Okay.
When I was in college and stuff, I did something very bad, and I ended up losing all my friends over it.
Oh.
So then I went to uni, and then I got a few guy mates who, when you leave uni, you don't really speak to anymore. So like I've never really had that many guy mates. And then I started doing my butlering, and then after butlering, you start getting comfortable around women, and not in like a sexual sense, but more like a, you know, when if I go into a room and there's 50 women and I'm having a joke with them all, you kind of learn like their humor.
Yeah.
So I've always got on way easier with women than guys, like way easier. So I do have naturally have a lot of the car scene girls as a mate, and they're all so different. But the one thing that obviously people say OnlyFans has ruined the car scene and stuff. I don't really agree with that. I mean, yeah, you know, if they can make money dead easy, but they're taking a big risk to their life of doing that. So if they want to take that 100%. Risk, then have the rewards.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put a video of myself doing these things online that can be seen for everyone the rest of your life. I won't personally do it, but if they want to take that risk, whatever, let them do it. But I mean, I know the girls who I've known girls that do OnlyFans from when I've known them, and they're still really nice. I know girls that are arseholes pretty much straight away. And the worst thing is, I've seen girls who are super nice, and then they do OnlyFans, and then they turn horrible. And
why is that? What? Because they're getting so much. They kind of think they're at the top of the game because
I don't even think it's that. I mean, people just see them as, and I do kind of get it. Like I think people just they're up their own ass. I think it's the way. I think it's insecurity. I think that because I know these guys. I wish I could say her name. I'm not going to.
Would people know who you're talking about?
Probably.
Okay.
If they know, they know. I can't help that, you know.
Okay.
But I knew her before she did OnlyFans, and she spoke to me about doing OnlyFans and blah blah blah. And I was like, you know, do it, but you know the risks, you know.
Send me some pictures first. Let me see.
I don't have any of them. I don't have any of them sort of pictures. No, nothing's ever happened like that. And then she starts doing it, and then I think they get into this like natural sense of everyone just gives them shit. That like everyone. I mean, because I know OnlyFans girls that well, where I've seen messages that they're getting. Some of them are fucking horrible, mate. Really? Like some of them.
Is that through the platform of OnlyFans, or is that through like their other
Instagram? People just I've seen death threats and I've seen mate.
Why?
Some and I think that they get in this vicious cycle of people. They get so much abuse that they just start naturally thinking that everyone hates them. So then they start treating other people like shit, because if they're treating me like shit, why am I going to give them the time of the day? Yeah. So then they're walking. I mean, I've been through this. I mean, because some people say that sometimes I look like a dickhead when they see me at a meet, but at the end of the day, like I've had a lot of shit. I mean, I've had threats someone's going to set my car on fire next time. I've had threats someone's going to hit me in the back of the head. So when I'm walking through a car meet, I'm not going to be smiling to everyone, because you don't know if that's the person that last week said, "Oh mate, you're the best person," you know, blah blah blah. Or you're that person that's threatening to fucking blow my car up. So I imagine for OnlyFans girls, it's even worse. So I kind of get it. So they walk around car meets and stuff, not really knowing who's chatting shit. And then it just gets into this vicious cycle of they treat them like shit, so they treat other people like shit, and then they just get worse and worse and worse. And now they're just super, super, super fucking rude. Wow. So that's my idea in the car scene. I've got some really good girl mates who are super nice, and they do OnlyFans, and it's not affected them like that. Yeah. I know other girls that, in my opinion, just don't deserve to be there.
Really?
No. Some of them just need to come down a bit.
Yeah. I think that's with anything though too, isn't it? Like even going back to it with the guys, there's some guys in this YouTube car scene too that are of the same kind of nature.
I've never met another YouTuber that I thought, you're a dickhead. Yeah. Never met. I can imagine there's one person who I do think is a bit of a dickhead. Again,
I've got a couple. I'm not going to say it.
Oh, really?
A fucking war, bro. But
what, that you've seen? And they're a bit of a dickhead.
Listen,
Give us some names, Jerry. Give us some names.
But let me think. Actually, I've got two things I'm thinking in my head right now about two different people, and I don't want to.
Right.
Do you know what? Actually,
two. What car YouTubers? UK guy YouTubers.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't personally have no problems with anyone like
it's not necessarily
it's never that deep. It's never that deep.
Oh, same with me. The guy that I looks like I despise on social media.
Yeah.
I don't. If I walked past in real life, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd probably say hello, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I'd see how they react.
100%.
But there's definitely people who I don't necessarily agree with how they do things.
I don't like how they move. I don't like how they act, and But again, I'm the kind of person that, look, if I'm ever going to say it, I got to say it to their face, and it's got to be off camera, because otherwise, what am I about? Who am I? Like, I've got morals. Going back to it, bro, 29 years before doing this YouTube game, like, when we have issues or problems, we speak it out or we talk it out, we deal with it, however, off camera. Yeah. If I'm doing it on camera, I'm doing it for clout, and I'm doing it for the wrong reason. Yeah. But it's, as I say, it's not that deep. I don't have any problem. But I've just watched the kind of scene and some interactions I've had with people, and I'm like, I'm not, something slightly off here. In fact, free people. Free. Oh my God. But one I have a good reason for.
Right, okay.
And I'll tell you that off camera.
Okay, very intrigued.
And then the other, bro, listen, I'm going to say this, yeah? In fact, no, it's not 3. Yeah, 3.
And they all have their own channels, or are they tied into one?
They've all got their own channels.
Oh,
and they're all big in the UK scene.
Shit.
But, again, like, you know, sometimes when you meet people, you can get the wrong end of the stick. You know, like, for instance, just imagine I bumped into you at a meet and you having a bit of a bad day, and someone might have just pissed you off, and that, and you're speaking to me, and we only had a short time, and then something happened and we had to leave. That is our... And if that's the only time we get to spend with each other for a year or whatever, that, bro, we're going to have, like, these... thoughts if that's how you actually are, whatever. It just might have been the wrong time, wrong place, or whatever.
I've always, I'm not a judgmental guy. Like, no. I always, I mean, I've heard so many things about people, but how they are to me, that's all I care about. Oh, and how they are on camera, I know that that's not the real person. I know it isn't. They might be super, super nice in real life. Now, I've never met this person that I would probably the one I dislike the most. I've never met him in person. Okay. And I'm not going to fully make a...
Do people know who you're talking about?
I would assume, I would definitely say so. It's been a couple things on Instagram and stuff.
Is he big? UK? Oh, hang on. I think I know who you're talking about, but I won't say it.
Yeah.
Is he big? Big in the game?
I think he's pretty big.
Has he got over 200,000 subs?
Yes. I think
under 300,000.
I'm not that specific on his channel.
You know, if you say all his stats, he's like...
He's definitely got,
he's got 247,000. He drops a video
from
every
last
Wednesday.
Yeah. No, but... And that's just... I just disagree with some things. Yeah. And he's popped at me a few times, and I mean, it's just like... I know that your channel's all about that, but I'm not. Like, I just can't be bothered with it.
Got you.
And he did something really out of... something that was, in my eyes, from a YouTuber to a YouTuber, way out of order.
Yeah.
It's like, basically, you can't really know how to say it, but releasing someone's private stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. Which you would assume that would be like a bit of a moral code between YouTubers, but apparently it's up to him, and that just made me dislike even more. Yeah. But then again, I've never met him in person. It could just be all YouTube stuff. Yeah. But he's really the only one that I just disagree with the way he does things. Yeah. But then again, I might meet him in real life and he might be hilarious and funny. He might just all be an out for the camera. But I know, I mean, I don't hate anyone. It's just sometimes
100%.
Some people are just like,
you're not my kind of person. I see what you're doing.
Hang about with you.
Yeah, 100%. And do you know what? I don't want to take away. This is quite weird actually, because you see all, like, in our kind of industry, the car, the automotive side of the UK. I feel that anyone with a substantial following, we're all adding a little bit to the car scene. So you've got to rate them, because we are all kind of keeping it moving in the right direction, hopefully, most of the time. So you've got to give credit where credit's due. No matter if you agree or disagree with what they're doing, they seem to have an audience for what they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But going back to... You're talking about butlering, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Now, I know what you're talking about, yeah? But there might be people thinking, wow, he's a butler.
I walk around with... That's what I've got on my insurance occupation, butler.
Have you actually got that?
I used to.
No way.
I used to.
I guarantee.
So imagine with someone, he's a butler.
You're not lying, I
guess. I'm technically a butler. It doesn't actually say naked butler on the drop down. So
that's the thing. You do, it's called butlering.
Used to do. Don't do it anymore.
Okay. How did you get into that? Tell us about it. How did you get the mind frame to do that?
Oh, so I remember being at uni, and obviously at uni, everyone's skin. I remember going down to Tesco at like 5 to 10 foot shuts and getting like 1-piece sandwiches. And then I got as much as I got 5. I got 5 in my hand, and they go. And this is when 5p bags just came in. Oh, so I was like,
pay more for the bag.
Well, that's the thing. She was like, "Do you want a bag?" I was like, "No, I'll go and drop these off in my freezer, come back down and get 5 more for the price of a bag." So no, I'll leave the bag. But yes, skin. And I remember working at the nightclubs, and I used to, obviously the nightclub I used to work at, they used to have like dancers, but they used to they're like stripper dancers, not
female
actuals.
or male.
Female.
Okay.
So they're not like they're not actual strippers, but they're like, you know, the ones that do all the the axle grinder and all that.
Yeah.
Axle grinder, is that what it is? Angle grinder, sorry. And then I remember speaking, I was mates to one of them. I was like, I wish I could do what you do, just walk around half naked and get paid a load of money. So I used to be on like 50 quid a night, and then they'd be on like 500.
Okay.
And then she was like, be a stripper. I was like, I can't be a stripper. It's way too cringy. Too cringy. And she was like, be a naked butler. I didn't even know what it was at the time. I mean, this was like after, I was pissed at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I applied online.
How do you apply? Was it like one company?
I just Googled naked butlers, and the first one that come up, applied online. And then like the next day, I had this Skype interview with this guy from down south. I was up north at the time in Liverpool. And then I was like stood there with my top off, just having a conversation with this guy.
Is that the kind of interview process?
Have you got your top off and you have to just talk to him for like 20 minutes. And they want to see if you obviously weren't in terrible shape or weren't a miserable bastard.
Yeah.
Which obviously both I am. And then he was like, right, so you got the job. We'll give you 2 weeks to prepare yourself, and then we'll put you on a training job with a guy, and then you have one training job, and then that's it. You're on your own then. So I was like, all right, cool.
How do you prepare yourself though?
Oh, mate, scariest thing I've done in my entire life, other than jump off a 60-foot bridge into water. That was probably the scariest thing. But other than that, this. And then I remember I was just like, oh, right. I was like, I've got 2 weeks, sunbed every day, gym every day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like eat, bulk.
Yeah.
Bulk for a week, cut for a week. And then like 3 days later, there was like, someone's backed out. We need you in this job. I was like, no.
What, as in on your own?
Yeah. Well, he said there's another guy there, but it's not necessarily a training job. It's a 2-people job, but we need. And I was like, mate, I'm not ready. I was like, I'm not ready. And I remember getting to this place called Posh Pads in Liverpool. Really nice pads. A really nice place if you ever go to Liverpool. And then I was shitting my pants, mate. I remember I was holding this and I was like trying to pull this Prosecco and I was like shaking.
What's the setup though? What are you going to butt? Like,
it's like no idea, like
mate. It's hen do's?
Usually it's hen parties and birthdays. But mate, I've done gay weddings.
Oh no!
Gay wedding. I actually love doing the gay events.
Really?
I mean,
not like. I mean, look. Some people take it other way. But have you got like? All right. Let me take it back. Before, because there's nothing wrong with obviously being gay or whatever.
Oh God, no. Yeah. I mean, like as a guy who's walking
straight,
around, who's
straight guy that might be
walking around naked
oh, you butt naked too?
All you have is an apron and that's it. You have an apron and cufflinks, so your ass is out and there's nothing like stopping your dick from hanging out.
But like people like the girls like because they get excited, didn't it, with a few drinks and they slapping your ass and doing
it is severely gave me trust issues for the rest of my life.
Really?
100%.
You see what women are really like.
Terrible, mate. I used to have like benefit the doubt towards women, and I know it's bad for me to put all women into the same category, and my girlfriend has a go at me for this sometimes. But when you've seen the same shit every weekend for 5 or 6 years,
you've done it that long too.
5 6 years.
Oh, you was an OG in the game.
OG, mate. Honestly, I was the man in Liverpool doing the butlers. It affects you because every single weekend you would see people trying to cheat with you, asking you to cheat with them. You know. I'm not gonna potentially.
That, yeah?
Oh, mate. Sometimes it's like, I remember doing one job, and this was really bad. I remember walking in, and it was this house in not a very nice area in Liverpool. So I looked at the postcode, I was like, shit. So and then anyway, I rang one of my friends at the time. I said, "Do you know this street?" She was like, "Ha ha ha ha." I was like. She was like, "Oh, you're not joking?" I was like, "No." She was like, "That's like one of the biggest streets in Liverpool for prostitution." Oh, wow. I was like, "Oh, fuck." Oh, man. So I parked on the road opposite just in case something dodgy was going on. Okay. And I walked down this road and I saw, obviously, you ring. So you get a number. That's what you get, a number and a time. That's all you get. And you got to go and you look at the drawer.
You have no clue what you're turning up to.
Clue you walk into. And I remember ringing this number and then they never answer. Never, ever answer the phone. And I seen these 2 girls in like sachets, like bride party, walking across the road. So I thought, I'll walk up and I'll say hello. So I walked up to them. I said, "Are you all right?" And he went, "Are you the guy?" I was like, "What the guys do they want?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm the guy." So we're stood in this middle of this street and they was like staring at me, really weird, like waiting for me to do something. They were like, and then they just like turned around and walked off. And I was like, that's a bit weird. And they went to the end of the street and this black car pulled up out of nowhere. Swear to God, nowhere. And he put the windows down. The girls went, "Do you know him?" Pointing at me. And the guy went, "No, do you know him?" The girls went, "No." I was like, this is getting a bit weird. I'm going to start walking off. So I started walking off and he ran up to me and he went, "Can I help you?"
Who, the girls?
Yeah, the girls. And I went, "I'm the butler." And he went, "Oh, we thought you was our drug dealer at first, but you started acting a bit weird, so you thought it might have been undercover police or something." And I was like,
Oh my
Should have gone in. The story doesn't end there. Shouldn't have gone. Like the butlering things have quite strict rules.
Okay. When there's drugs involved, you're not meant to.
If they know you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to leave. If there's any sort of like dodgy stuff, like you don't get involved. 'Cause if the company gets it's bad for the company. So I should have left because it was dodgy as fuck, but I didn't. So and anyway, I went in, and the girl that owned the house was lovely. The rest of them were animals, mate.
How much women are there? It could be as much as you like, pretty much.
There's times where I've done. There's times where me and my mate Jamie. Shout out to you, Jamie. We used to
you just told him, bro. We used to be partners in crime. I've never told him this.
Don't tell you. But we used to do this thing called Bongo Bingo. And
what the fuck?
And it was a bingo hall, but it was on a Saturday night.
Okay.
So it was like a bingo, but it was like crazy, like absolutely crazy bingo.
I'm trying to think of the age profile of women that play
only,
bingo, bro.
And they had, it was like, but they'd sell sex toys as thing, and then they'd have like deep rounds, and like on these rounds everyone had to get on the tables and like create, and there must have been about.
How old? What's the age profile here? Because bingo.
I mean, I was 18 when I started. Oh, the bingo.
How old did the people?
Oh no, these are young. These are like 18, 19, 20, whatever, 40-year-olds
mostly.
mostly.
Still kind of your age too. So
well, yeah. I mean, sometimes on 18-year-olds, and sometimes on 80-year-olds. Birthday parties strong. But there was me and Jamie, and there was probably about 300 women, all pissed, and me and Jamie, two of us, we'd walk round naked and like obviously just like have a bit of fun with the girls and just sell shots. We would come back. We had this rule. The one rule was to stop the first person drawing on you a bingo pen, because as soon as one person's drew on you, the next party's seen that you've got fucking pen on you. I'd come back head to toe, mate. Dicks across my forehead, numbers across my ass, and it's bingo. It don't come off. So I'd be going to jobs the next week. I'd have like still dicks drawn on my arseholes. Everyone's like, that a tattoo? I'm like, what? I'm like, oh fuck's sake! No, it's something. But yeah, anyway, I went into this house, and they was all sniffing coke and everything, which, if you do drugs, great, but like when you're a sober butler, it's not the nicest thing to do. So I walk in.
So you're not allowed to have a drink or anything?
Well, they say, but I mean, I don't work anymore. Yeah. But I used to. You do what you want. Really. Depends what company you're with. Some people one company's like really strict. This girl stands up. I was there 10 minutes, and everyone was just around this table in the garden. And this girl gets up and she goes, right, so 5 of us have been talking. I was like, right. She went, we all want extras after. How much we charge? What the I was like, I don't do that. Sorry. She was like, you do. It's only 5 of us.
5 of them.
I was like,
what kind of extras would I?
I mean, I had a look. No. Would I? Maybe you. but I mean, that is literally like the worst. I'm probably gonna write a book one day. Yeah. There's some things that I genuinely cannot say on camera, mate. Really? It's that bad. That bad.
But 5. Hang on, look, 5 of them. There's guys out there was like,
no, she was fully serious about kind of paying me to fuck 5 of them. Yeah, I don't know if it was one at a time or after. I don't know. But she was being 100% serious.
No way.
Yep, 100% serious.
And I guarantee they all had fucking husbands and boyfriends or
mate. The worst ones when you do the butlering jobs are always ones that are in long-term relationships or married. Yeah. Always, they're always the worst. Like I'd go back, get ready, they'd just come in, lock the door. Honestly, like it is.
Fuck it up.
It's 100. It changed my mindset on women.
That's mad.
And I still struggle with trust issues from it today.
That's mad. But it's, again, that's a different side of life that a lot of people don't see. Did you ever have like any occurrences like when you're walking around kind of naked and then the mate, like the boyfriend or something will come home, or like boys will come in, or has it always been pretty?
I've had some ones where the boyfriends have actually booked us for their girlfriend.
No way.
Yeah, but every time I've had a job, it's usually in an apartment with the women.
Cool.
Sometimes, I mean, I've done one once in Rhyl in Wales,
okay, and
it was literally in a pub on a Saturday evening.
And
all they had, it was just, imagine going into your local pub and there's a table, not even in the corner, in the middle of the room. I was doing a fucking hen party in this pub in Rhyl in Wales, which is like, if you've been to Rhyl, it's a local place, right? Yeah. And there was just guys on the table next to me. There was children over there, and I'm just like, mate, what situation do you get a butler? But honestly, I could go on for hours on stories that happened to me.
But it paid well, I'd assume. No,
at the time, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do it now because, I mean, when I was at uni and stuff, like if you were on like you probably get like 15, 20, 25 an hour.
Okay.
Sorry, more than that. About £30 an hour usually to do it. Sometimes more. At the time, that's all right. Like, because I mean, I used to get like 3 back-to-back hour jobs. So I get an hour there, hour job, hour there. And hour job's piss easy, mate. You come in, you say hello 15 minutes, you pour for drinks 15 minutes, play one game for 15 minutes, say bye 15 minutes, out the door.
Okay.
Easy. You get 3 them back-to-back. I mean, at uni, I was like struggling on like £5 a week sometimes. For me, going doing 3 hours work, getting 100 quid, that's all right.
Yeah.
But now I wouldn't do it because it takes you a whole day.
Yeah, for real.
Like, because if you're doing like a 2-hour job, say at 2 o'clock, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's not like I could just turn up dirty and greasy from working on my car. You've got to be pristine, and then you've got to take an hour to get there, an hour to get back, and it's stressful. If you get a bad job, you get a bad group of girls, it's fucking stressful, mate.
Oh, really? When you say a bad group of girls, though, what do you mean? Like animals?
You get my favourite group of girls were late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with them.
Okay.
If you get younger girls, they're all what used to happen with younger girls is for the first, say a 2-hour job, for the first hour they'd be really shy, but they don't want to show the shy. So they're awkward. They don't say much. They just ring. But because they're awkward, they drink loads, so they get fucking hammered. And in the last half an hour, they're just too much, like sloppy and like all over you and like lifting your apron up, like every single job.
That's got to be the one in it. Who can lift his apron up?
It was all a mind game, mate, because you'd have one. You'd go in and you'd have to scout out which one was the bastard. There's always one bastard, and that's one. That's the cocky one.
Okay.
So you have to outwit her cockiness. So like she'd come up to you, like you'd walk in, she'd come up to you, and she would just lift your apron, try and pull your apron off, but she'd do it to try and show off. But now she's the alpha male group because she's made the butler feel like shit. That's what she thinks. So you've got to go above and beyond now. And I didn't want to do this, but like she's trying to make me look like a dick. I've got to make her feel awkward. So then when she's sitting down, you've got to just put your ass in her face or just like slap your cock in her face. Not because you want to do it, just because she assumed power.
Who's boss?
So now I've got to embarrass her in front of her mates. So then you assume power again. But in the first year, mate, like you shit yourself. I was so nervous.
Bro, you're a brave man. You're braver than me, bro. You're braver than me,
mate. Honestly, it's some of the stories, mate. I mean, I'm sure. Like, I'll tell you one. When I'm on live, people love this one.
All right.
So this one involved a 92-year-old woman.
What the hell?
I know. So I had this job in Liverpool.
A 92-year-old.
92. I had this
Did she know what was going on?
Oh God, yeah. Okay. So I had a job in Liverpool, and you know, Ringham, and it was an early one. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. Some of them were dead early. They were having breakfast and shit. And this was my first of 5 jobs that day. So long day, 10 hours of butlering. That's a fucking long day, mate. So I rang him, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm Liam, your butler. I'm outside." He was like, "Oh yeah, we're in the bar downstairs." Like, downstairs. Surely it's roped off. It wasn't. So it was like kids waking up, going to there's me with my ass out. Anyway, I get in and there's the mum, the hen's mum, the hen's grandma, and then like a few mates, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is my grandma. She's 92. She looks good." I'm like, "Oh, she looks about 75. It's a fair play to her. She did look pretty good for 92." Anyway, so they're all having this. I'm there to play games, talk up drinks, whatever. Just be fun, flirty, easy entertainment. Yeah. And first of all, someone dared the hen to lick cream off my nipple. So she gets up. This is normal. I mean, cream smells after a little bit, but I've got baby wipes. It's all right. This is what you think doing the job. I've got baby wipes. All right. It smells after about an hour because I'm used to this shit. You used to probably putting cream all over me. So she gets up. She licks cream off this nipple. Someone dares her mum to do it with her. So I'm like, it's getting a little bit weirder. So they both get up. The mum's on this one. She's on this one. Both licking cream off nipple. Anyway, and it's all a bit of a joke. So they all sit down. Now they have these like cakes on the plate, and the grandma is sat. The 92-year-old, she sat on the end of this table here, so they're all on chairs, and she asked for a top up. So when you're butlering, like you need to like show that you're more confident than you are. Of course. So like if I'm ever like pulling drinks, someone's a bit nervous, I'll just press up against them a little bit more. You know, that's you got to give that because in the first year I was just a bit shy, and then I never used to enjoy it. But if you assume dominance in the group, you'll have a good time. Got you. So it was like this, and then obviously she's 92 or 4. She's probably a little bit shy. So I'll take a little, everyone's like, "Ooh," that sort of thing. And she asked for a top up, so I come on, top in the drink. And because I'm standing so close, so I've got to lean over and pour it like this. Yeah. And she grabbed this can of whipped cream, and I'm thinking, She's 92.
Please, no.
Because you can see shit when the women. After like years of doing it, mate, you know what girls
You know
are
what's
doing.
going on. You know the crap.
I used to have to put my phone in my front pocket, and I used to have to tie it around my back forward, then flip it over because everyone's like trying to fucking pull it off. And anyway, this woman, she grabbed this kind of whipped cream, and I seen it, but I thought, she's 92, I don't need to worry. She's not going to do anything. So I was carried on because she had a cake on her plate. So I thought she was just putting on a cake. She lifted my apron up, squirted a line of cream on my dick, this 92-year-old, and just licked it all off.
No!
And I was stood there. It was in slow motion.
Hang on. You made that sound real quick, bro.
It was quick.
I know you.
She was the fastest thing I've ever seen
That
for a
must have taken at
92-year-old.
least 30 seconds to...
Mate, because I'm just sat there, like, you freeze. It's like, who's that? You know, I remember it being in slow motion. I'm doing this drink. I'm like, who the fuck is licking cream off my dick? It's not that 92-year-old.
Oh my god!
And then, funnily enough, everyone was like, obviously everyone was shocked. I was a bit shocked. And I was like, the first thing I thought was, great, my dick's gonna stink like fucking milk now all day. Thank you.
Oh,
and then her daughter come up after, and she was like, I'm so sorry, but she'll die happy now. Swear to
exactly. God. When was the last time she licked whipped cream off her dick?
I mean, now it's great. I'm like, mate, she's 92. She's probably not seen any of that in about 40 years. Exactly. You know, something. And I'm like, fair.
Well, there you go.
That's my good deed done for the week.
Exactly. You know? See, he changed his life. See, he's a good man. He's a good man. Now, do you know what? It's really funny actually because it's good having people from different walks. I know we both love cars, and that's kind of why we're here today. But like, having people on from different walks of life who've done completely different things, bro, it's crazy. Like, because I've never spoke to anyone who's a butler in a pub or a stripper. I had a porn star on my channel though.
Oh, right, okay.
So not on the podcast, but I had a porn star. So guys who want to see this video, go back and
girl or boy?
A boy.
Okay.
A boy. Yeah, a man. See, this is the other thing. Okay. Right? So it's a man. I should have known. Actually, I can't say his name. I'm not going to say his name. In fact, you know what? I'll go through this whole story because there's parts to it. But basically, he had an RX-7. So anyone go back and watch the video of an RX-7. Come on. So I was speaking to him, and he's telling me about like the industry and everything, and I'm like, I'm so intrigued. Not because I'm into it. I'm just intrigued as to how things work. Because look, we've all watched fucking porn, right? Yeah. My main thing, was bro, when you're banging this chick, that is like. Right, she probably looks 10-10 on camera. She probably ain't in real life. But she's doing the craziest things. Right. How are you not bussing? Like, how are you not shooting your load and things like that? So that's like, I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know,
though, you know. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, obviously I know you're in a relationship, but you must have had you're a good-looking guy.
Stop it.
You must have had some good-looking girls.
Yeah, but look, let's be real. So when you're in a relationship, it kind of gets a little bit easier because you get used to it. You know what I mean? You're not But a lot of the time, so I've been with my missus for like 10 years now. So going back, so I was 22, Don't get me wrong, bro. I worked in Malia. I was a lad. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But more time when I was one night stands or whatever, coming back from a club or something, he's drunk. You know what I mean? It makes it easier, bro. You become Superman. But these guys are on like they are having like it's pressure. Yeah. If you shoot your load, bro, you might not get paid, or you've just ruined the thing. And I'm just interested to see how we do it. But go on, what were you gonna say?
What just then?
No. You're like leading up to it, like you don't agree with it.
Well, 2 points. I mean, going on for that, like, I mean, when you watch some porn videos and stuff, a lot of the guys like hardly even come. So I figure they must have like multiple shoots. Yeah. Surely they must have like multiple shoots. Yeah. And then like they might come and then they will have to come again and come again.
Well, what he said is,
imagine anyone's walking past.
Can you imagine? Yeah. I don't even know how this has got here, but we're doing it.
How did? Yeah. What we're talking about?
We're doing it. Don't worry, it's fine.
Guys, amounts of coming.
People here watching this with their kids and they're like, how did Sorry, guys. Sorry. But, you know, this stuff happens and goes on. But no, basically, what you were saying is, so we watch a video. We might watch a porn video. Yeah. Not that we watch porn. No. We don't watch porn. We might have stumbled across it. But, like, it's not all out, bang, 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 bang. No. Bro, it's like, all right, hold that position, wait there, change your camera position, change the lighting, spin around. Bro, he's like, it's harder to keep a hard on.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Than definitely fucking, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, it's really interesting. But then I don't know. I can't say actually.
You've had him on the
exactly,
show.
But
so.
now I'm going to say it. No, I was going to say something, and then people were going to go back and watch the video. I think, but basically,
because you referenced it wrong or something.
Nah,
everyone's going to watch. Yeah, it's on the channel.
People are going to go back and then be like, oh, really? But basically, he was telling me about like old women.
Right.
Like he does some things with
okay.
old women, like, you know what I mean? And he was saying that they're actually goers.
Right.
Like I'm talking 80-year-olds, bro. And I'm like
80?
Yeah, 70s,
no, I
80s.
couldn't
I'm
do
like,
that,
whoa,
mate.
bro.
No.
I'm like, whoa. Like,
I've had quite big age gaps of women, but 80?
Bro,
Shit.
I was like, whoa, that's where the fun stopped. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, bro. But I was still like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like,
you gotta be accommodating on the podcast.
Exactly. But yeah, so basically finding out that kind of industry was mad, bro. But so after, basically, when I do my videos, right, and a bit like today, I might message you later and I'll be like, bro, send me anything you want me to add to the description so people can find you.
Okay.
Like, so I said the same to him. And like people coming to my channel.
Did he send his porno link or something?
Bro, so I was just so stupid. Like,
yeah,
it must have been a rush. I was like, bro, send me anything you want me to put in the description. So he sent me a load of stuff. Didn't check it. It just copied, pasted it. So anyway, day later, YouTube guidelines, community guideline or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, you get a warning. So basically, you get 3 strikes and you're out. But you actually get a warning, then 3 strikes and you're out. So I got my warning, and I'm like, what has happened? And they basically showed me the link that I put in there. Yeah, and I didn't even check. So I click on the link, bro. It brought me straight to a porn site. His own porn site. I'm like, how can I be so bloody stupid? Like, you know what I mean?
It's so strict, isn't it? Because I've got one warning.
Okay.
For like nudity.
Oh, really?
But it's not. Basically, I did a funny story. Actually, you know, if you just look at Harry Main.
Yeah. He's a BMX.
Yeah, BMX. All right. So when I used to work at Halfords when I was younger, we used to watch Harry Main, and he used to have a girlfriend at the time called Gabrielle Taylor. Okay. And I remember watching the all the bike guys in Halfords used to watch Harry Main. I've never really watched him so much, but they used to watch him all the time. So if I was on my dinner, you'd see Harry Main and you see Gabrielle Taylor, and like everyone was like, "Oh my god, Gabrielle Taylor!" And she's a really good looking girl. Everyone used to fantasize about all this thing. Anyway, she randomly out of the blue messaged me about a year and a half later, 2 years later. This girl, everyone used to fantasize about on the fucking telly in Halfords. And she was like, oh, hey, like, me and my agent are coming across you. Do you mind, can we use you and your Evo for a video? Your views are good at the minute. We want to do something. I was like, yeah. She was like, you can use me for whatever you want in your video. I was like, don't tell me that. But then I'm like, shit, like these are not correlated. So I had to think of something. Anyway, I come up with this quiz I called it like the forfeit quiz. And I thought these are like big OnlyFans girls. So I thought we'll do something funny here. So,
was she an OnlyFans girl?
Yes, but only with her feet, which is a bit weird.
Huh?
Yeah, just feet. Like she used to like at Christmas, she used to like put baubles on Christmas.
Oh,
honestly,
my God.
weird. But anyway, so I was like, right, okay, cool. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to think of some video. So I come up with this like forfeit quiz sort of thing, where I had to ask them car questions. I know nothing about cars, and if they got it right, I had to do one of these random forfeits. If they got it wrong, they have to do the random forfeit. And then anyway, I got a strike from that because one of the things was suggestively eat a banana. So I thought people want to see them do it.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny if I had to do it. Anyway, they had to do it, and then that's what they flagged it for: eating a banana suggestively. Yeah, because the thumbnails like them, like you know.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a thumbnail. Oh no, it was a bit in the video. So I got a warning because someone was suggestively eating a banana.
Bro, do you know, it's worrying too when you get one because you're like, bro, if this happens 3 more times, bro, my channel gone.
I know.
That's what is worrying. Like, you know what I mean? The control that YouTube. See, this is the other thing. Yeah, going back to being a YouTuber.
It's like swearing and stuff. Like I swear all the time. It never picks up on me. Maybe my accent.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, literally, I think it's when you get reported. That's when they check it.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that's going back to that video. Remember I was telling you I got ad suitability?
Yeah.
I'm like...
Do you still not know what that was for?
No.
No.
The only thing I can think in it is I had a shot of the guy. So anyone who wants to see this video I'm talking about, in fact, please go and watch the video because it got no views.
Yeah,
we'll put the link up here somewhere, hopefully. Or if we don't, it's about a Mustang. 1,000 brake horsepower Mustang. Yeah.
Wow.
So you think people are going to watch this video as 1,000 brake horsepower? And... the only thing I can put my finger on that was
a reference to someone crashing Mustangs or something?
Nothing like that. He basically, so you see, I do gas up 0 to 60 when people try 0 to 60. So before we got into that, there was a shot of him accelerating away. And when he's accelerating away, his wheels are spinning a little bit. No, he ain't trying to do a rolling burnout or anything.
Right, yeah.
He's just, his wheels naturally are chopping up. It's a little bit of smoke. And like, guys, watch the video. Tell me if it's a madness. It ain't.
Did it have his red? Well, that's
Reg in it and
I thought
everything,
on way worse things than that.
Yeah. And this is the thing. But then I always have in the back of my head is like, look, the things we do, or maybe not you so much, but I do a lot of car reviews.
Yeah.
Now, my car reviews are highly edited.
Yeah.
And at some points, it does look like we're properly going for it. Like, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, we drive spiritedly.
That's
but
the
we
hard
edit
thing
things
about
together.
reviews. Like, that's what I struggle, because you're in this situation where you want to give good content and you want to show off the car, but you also don't want to look like too much of a dickhead.
Exactly.
So that I suppose that's really hard for you and everyone who does
With me,
reviews.
I have one thing, and like people might not realize it, but if you go back and watch my videos, you'll notice that what I'm saying is right. You'll never see a video of cars on my channel with me driving or the person driving, like doing burnouts, doing handbrake turns, doing anything reckless and dangerous. We drive spiritedly, but it's on like open country roads. Not
Can I ask you a question, actually?
Yeah,
because I've noticed about your videos. Why do
I blur things out?
Well, I know why you blur things out, but it's specific. So you blur out the back.
Yeah.
You don't blur out the sides.
I do.
Do you blur out the side?
But not
or
as much.
you do one or the other?
I do. So, bro.
Is that because when you pass a speed sign in the back, you can't necessarily see what it says?
No. So it's not only speed signs.
Obviously, you don't have to say this on camera. You don't want to.
No, but I'll say it on camera because, like, there is a couple things. One of the things is the roads that I drive down, I don't want loads of boy racers
finding them roads,
going down them roads, running down them roads, thinking they can drive like heroes. Because going back to it, I edit this shit. Like, what we might do is we might do a pull. We might catch traffic ahead. We have a bit of a laugh, a joke or whatever. We'll pull over. We wait until the road's clear. We go again. So that's what we do. And I chop it together. So it looks sometimes like we just, whoa. And I don't want people to feel like this because people
that's
are
the way
very,
you actually drive all the time.
Yeah. So like, I don't want people going down these roads and spanking it. Plus, I don't want people really knowing where I do what I do. Like,
right,
you know?
okay.
And sometimes, look, I just prefer to be incognito.
Yeah.
And plus, if it saves some attention not being shown on the channel, I'll do it. And bro, it takes forever. It takes forever.
Yeah, how do you? Because people have the different things. So, like Living Life Fast, it sounds that he doesn't blur out anything.
No.
Like no faces, no redges. I think crazy.
Nuts.
My rule with them is if it looks like I'm going faster than the speed limit, face is gone.
Okay.
Whoever is driving at that time when that face is blurred. Yeah. Any sort of like wheel slip, reg blurred.
Yeah.
But then it's like some people I've seen that do more than that have had some backlash from it.
Yep.
And then some people like Living Life Fast and DMO sometimes don't blur anything out either.
No.
And I'm like, how do you get away with that?
Do you know what I think it is, bro? I think it's luck of the draw. I think that in certain situations, if something was like, say one of the boys, one of those guys or someone else was doing an absolute madness on the road, right? If it was really bad and no one of authority was aware of it, then it's not too much of a problem.
Right.
But if someone, I don't know, reports it, I don't know if there's a reporting thing that you can do and gives it to the police.
Yeah.
If they were to analyse it, I'm sure they can fuck you over.
Yeah.
But the only problem is, how much time and resources does it take out of their day?
Well, here's the thing, because I remember, I suppose it's where it is as well, because one thing that stays in my mind, this is why I'm over conscious about blurring things that potentially could look bad, was when I first got my Evo, I did a driving video through Wales, and I wasn't even driving that I was like overtaking people, probably, obviously sometimes you got to go a bit quicker just to get around them, but it was not dangerous driving whatsoever, was not
it's
bad
legal
at
to
all.
overtake too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But some people might have seen it. And anyway, I got message after message after message. People was like, I'd take that down if I were you. The first one, I thought, it's just some guy being a bit of a whatever. And I got loads more. And I was like, what? And then someone sent me like 3 examples. Okay. There was these 2 guys who, this guy sent me that, and he was like, this is why you should take it down, especially in Wales. There was these 2 guys who were in the army, and they were driving through a place called the Evo Triangle in Wales. And they didn't show the face. Didn't show the reg. They just had like a GoPro on the front of the windscreen and they were going down the Evo Triangle. Not even that fast. The police found it on Facebook. They researched how long it took to get from one rock to another rock. Found they was doing 100 mile an hour. They found out the original person who posted the video because it took it down at this point. Yeah. And these 2 guys got discharged from the army and got fined like $5,000 each. And then there was another example of this guy driving a Atom. And you could just see them, and he blurred out the background and stuff, you know, and you could just see their faces, blurred out his face. But sorry, he didn't blur out his face, but because his passenger said, "You're shitting me up now."
Okay.
They found that video, and then he got done for driving, like dangerous driving, or like driving within, I don't know, something like scaring a passenger.
Yeah.
And obviously this guy was like, "Oh, you're shitting me up," but they said he was threatened for his life there. And I was like, "Shit, these are on it, mate." Bro. And then there was another example of another big YouTuber who got done for the same thing when he was driving his R8 through the Peak District.
You're talking about.
And I seen him that day. Because I was like, I swear I know that car, and then I look back at the video and you can see my Evo going past him.
No way.
Yeah, and I was like, and then that was the time he got dumped. Same thing. They measured two landmarks. 100 mile an hour, license gone or whatever happened.
You have to be
Scary,
so careful.
Mate.
Look, we all.
That's why I don't like doing reviews that much.
Do you know? See, this is the problem with what I love doing what I do, but there's always that in the back of your head: is someone going to take offense to this?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I can see where you could take offense, like, because at the end of the day, we are driving spiritedly on the road, like, you know what I mean? And it's what's the line? What is the line, you know?
Yeah.
So as I say, all I try to do is I try to just be as real as, like, I mean I try to make sure that we're never in a built up area driving fast.
Yeah.
We always stick to the speed limit.
Yeah, of course.
We're not doing anything that would be seen as dangerous, handbrake turning, racing, overtaking. I'd like going back to it. I know overtaking is legal, but in England people frown upon it.
Yeah,
weirdly. So I try to do those things, and I try not to set bad examples because people look up to us as, you know, if Jamie's doing it, it must be the cool thing to do. Like, you know? But I just want everyone to know that when I do these videos, they are cut and chopped and edited highly to make that final product. Like, you know what I mean? But yes, we drive spiritedly, but we try to do it as controlled as possible. But bro, look, we kind of hit an hour and a half mark now, but I'm not going to cut it off right yet.
Having fun, mate.
I know, bro. Bro, ain't it refreshing to just be able to, I mean, the cameras are here, but after a while you forget about the fucking cameras. It's just refreshing to be able to sit down and speak to someone.
Yeah. Plus, I've never talked to you before.
Never spoke before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And hear your story and in not a pressured environment in such where we generally under time restraints, if that makes sense. Because when people are watching your video or my video, they're watching it to hear us talk about cars. Not really our life.
It's hard, isn't it? Like, I mean, I go through stages of like not knowing what to, like, am I just chatting shit a bit too much now? Like, should I just get some more car stuff? And then it's get to the point where it's like, well, I'm not going to film that because people won't really like it. Because there might be a few minutes of the cars, it might be like 7 minutes of me trying bullshit. Should I upload it?
Exactly.
Should I not? It's hard. I feel like now I'm thinking about things way more than I used to.
Me too.
Like when you first start, it's just everything exciting, and I saw that when you first start, and there's no negative to just putting random videos out there. I feel like now, there's so much pressure, especially with the competition that's out there now.
That's the thing.
You know,
that's the thing. Especially when you're judged against other people too. It's like, shit, they done that.
Yeah.
I need to do that. And if you even if you feel like you don't need to do that, everyone else feels like you need to do it.
That's the thing. But then, like, when you think about it, because I started looking into the algorithms and stuff, and I was like, because I'm like, right, I've heard a lot that people are upset about these algorithms. Let me look into it. So I looked into it a little bit the other week, and it's like now the main thing is they're looking huge into my belly's rumbling like mad.
Bro, my belly's rumbling too, bro.
I need an egg sandwich.
There's gonna be all these mad noises in the background.
But I look like keywords are huge. Click through rate and what is it now? It's like watch retention, which is huge. And that have you watched Logan Paul at all? Have you ever watched?
I know who he is, but I don't really watch him. I've caught a couple of his videos.
He like got onto it straight away because everyone was, because it used to be watch time instead of percentage. Okay. It's like if you were like doing like, remember the time when everyone was uploading like 30-minute videos all the time?
Yeah.
Now everyone's like going short. Like YouTube's gone the same way. So YouTube's gone through watch through rate. So Logan Paul started uploading like 4 or 5 minute videos. When obviously he had that Japan thing and like no one was watching him.
Got you. Yeah.
He started doing like 4 or 5 minute videos, and everyone was at the time was like, that's a bit, why is he doing that? Because anything under 10 minute isn't feasibly viable, right? Because you don't get your ads. Yeah. But because he's getting like 99, 100% watch rate because his videos are so short, boom, flew up.
Wow.
He went like he's and crazy. But
that's the thing.
What we do, we can't do fucking 4-minute videos.
It's hard, bro. Look, there's probably ways, but
some people complain.
If you want a little bit of meat to your video. You kind of need. This is the thing. Like people always see me saying, "I'm not going to talk too much." And they always kind of say, "You say you're not going to talk too much, and then you talk too much." And I'm in my head like, I'm trying to just give like I envision when I make a video that perhaps someone hasn't caught the last video I made on this car. So let me just give you a quick update where we are, blah, 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 blah. So I'll do like a little intro. After the intro, I'll do like a little talk and then we'll get into the meat of it. But then I'm trying to cut it down because I know people just want to skip to the action. Yeah. But when I have a video that is a lot of kind of in-depth talking about, you need
the substance there.
Exactly.
The only way I can explain it to people who don't do YouTube is it's very much like writing an essay and your audience is the person marking it, and you have to literally try to get it down to a certain word count, and it's impossible because you think, oh well, could I get rid of that because actually that might be really important information that they might mark highly, so I'm going to leave that in, and it's so hard to like get it down to a point where you've got, but then you don't want it too fast paced. If it's too fast paced, it's like it's too much. I'm clicking on.
Exactly.
And it's really hard to get that balance.
It's hard to get, it's hard to get the balance, and I mean, I feel like I've got it to a certain extent, but you look at, for instance, and this might come as a shock for some people, and I don't know what your kind of viewer retention is, but if I drop a 20-minute video, my average people watch a video for like 7 minutes.
Is it? Right.
So that's all there. So nearly a third.
So that goes against what YouTube says do well. Yeah. This is the thing, like it's almost like it doesn't really make sense because I mean, I did a video with the Merc stuff. I bought a crashed up Merc and I fixed that up, and like that the watch percentage that was like 80%.
Really?
Yeah, really high.
Really
Click through it was really well, and every video was like that. And the videos with the Z4 I've been doing that the watch retention is so high.
Yeah.
But then they're not doing well on views. And then I look at my old videos where they've done really well on views, and the watch retention is awful.
Yeah.
So you can't structure it.
Yeah.
And you read that sort, and it's like, right, well, do I do more clickbaity stuff that people don't really like watching because they only watch it for 5 minutes? Yeah. Or, but then that gets tons of views.
There's so many people clickbaiting stuff. Yeah, for me, I don't like clickbaiting because I like to be looked at as someone who, when you click on my video, what you see in the title, you're generally gonna get.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are doing this clickbaiting thing and they're getting mad views, and I'm like,
it's hard, mate.
What do I do?
Yeah.
Like, but sometimes you've got to move with the times. Sometimes you've got to,
it's difficult. So I mean, I've been very experimental with my things, and I mean, if I'm being honest, my channel isn't as lucrative as it was.
Why do you feel that is?
I don't know. I mean, I think because the time that I can think that my channel was doing well was, I mean, these are probably nothing to what your views were getting, but there's times I'd be getting like 30 or 40k in the first less than a day.
Yeah, that's
which should be quite good. Yeah, that's good. And in the past year, it's gone lower than that. In the past like 2 weeks, it's gone super low, but I don't know what's happened with that. But I don't know. I suppose.
Are you putting out less content or the same amount?
Well, the same amount. Usually like three a week. Usually
3 a week.
3 a week. Usually 3 videos a week. If I've not got anything else on.
Wow.
I've not been doing. I've been too bit so busy with other stuff at the minute, so it's a bit low at the minute. But it's definitely dropped off, and I don't know why. I think maybe it's the, obviously I used to do the Jap stuff a lot. Now I'm doing more like German things, just because the Jap stuff's so expensive. You can't, for example, I just picked up a 3-litre Z4 manual.
1,200 quid.
Yeah.
So I'm watching.
200 quid, mate. And it's like I'm going looking at a car tonight.
Okay.
A Jap car.
Okay.
And that's like mega cheap, but it's auto NA, and it's even like way more than that.
Am I allowed to say?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to look at another Sora.
Oh, Sora.
Yeah,
okay.
I've had it before, and it's like, so it's the same chassis as a Supra.
Okay, and then 1JZ in.
Well, the turbo one's a 1J. So I had one. That's the thing. I had one which was a 10 grand one. That was a manual 1J, which is like rare.
Yeah.
The one I'm going to look at tonight is the V8 one. So it's not as.
They do them in a V8 too.
They do a 1UZ V8, yeah, which sounds better.
Oh, is that the same engine in the Lexus?
Yeah, it's a Lexus
L400 or something.
Oh god, what are they called now? I was going to get one of them.
What did you just call the engine again?
There's a 1UZ.
1UZ.
And then,
that's the one you're going to look at.
1UZ. Yeah, it's got a 1U in it.
Yeah. I had someone on the channel with one of those. He made a drift car. It was like
the LS400s, the big Lexus
LS400.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're the bollocks, mate. But they're so shit on fuel.
Oh, yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
Old school V8.
They're so big and they're so slow.
Okay.
But I've seen a Sora and I'm like, You ain't ever gonna see one that cheap again. It's got tons of issues.
Okay.
And electrical issues as
But
well.
people love that.
They do.
You buy that and you fucking, bro, as you say, your stress is their pleasure, bro. They love
Yeah,
watching it.
yeah. But I've been doing the crash car stuff, which is quite good actually, because it's profitable as well.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, you building it up and selling it?
Yeah, well, that was the Merc was to build it up, use it as a dead and sell it, which I did.
Okay.
And the Z4 was going to build it up and use it as a drift car, but I've put them in Instagram and people don't like the fact it's a BMW because it's German. So they want Jap stuff. But after doing a few crash car ones, I hate panel work. It's so, I put it on it, I hate it. Like, I love doing the mechanical stuff, but when it comes to the panels and lining the panels up and lining the bumper and lining the wings, I hate it, mate.
Yeah.
And I've realised that from doing the BMW, because you sat there for like 4 hours lining this fucking bonnet up.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a lose-lose situation, because when you've done it properly, great, I've got a bonnet on. It's not exactly rewarding.
Exactly. That's how
but if you don't do it properly, you can see a little bit out and it just pisses you off. So you sit there for fucking hours just moving it tiny. Nope, let's do it all again for the next.
Have you got a background of mechanic? No,
nothing.
Because do you know what's really crazy? Like, you're a proper hands-on guy. Like, you'll do everything pretty much to your car. And I'm a mechanic myself. Do you know that?
Oh, are you?
You know I'm a mechanic by trade?
I don't know that. No.
Not a lot of people know it, but I try to slip it into every time I can. So from 16,
Right.
I left school straight into an apprenticeship, but HGV mechanic, so a truck mechanic, a diesel
Right.
mechanic.
Well, smart, isn't it, really? Sorry to all the car
There you
mechanics.
go. There you go. But,
Guy mine, truck mechanic.
There you go. He's like a hero in the trade.
Oh,
isn't
mate, he's amazing.
he? No, he's sick. He is sick. But yeah, no, I'd done that until last year. So I
Really?
was 16 years. 16 years.
Oh,
I was
God.
a tech.
That's handy.
And people are like, when they do know, or sometimes, and this isn't everyone, they're like, why don't you ever get your hands dirty? And I'm like, bro, I've been on a workshop floor for like at these times, like 14, 15 years. The last thing I want to do is fix my own car. I just want to record. Like, I like the idea of now having a change of when you're doing something like 16 years and it's a big career or whatever, or it's your career that you're so used to, your trade, picking up a camera and being on the other side of things and recording people do, like, it's quite nice. Like, so I can't think of anything worse. Not anything worse. That's a total kind of overblown statement.
No, but I know what you mean, mate.
I just want to kind of
do that.
Like, I just want to kind of record the cool shit that's going on. Plus, a lot of the time now, some of the cars I'm with, like, bro, if I was to work on them and fuck them up, oh man, it's going to cost a lot. Like, you know what I mean? And plus, a lot of it's down to tuning, this and that, and the other. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't think I'd fit in. But yeah, bro, that's my history.
It's crazy, mate. I've always said I could never be a mechanic. And it's so weird because I literally do shit to my car. But I could never be a mechanic.
But the thing is, when you do it leisurely and there's no pressure in it, it's cool. It's like
if I wake up and go, oh, it's a bit cold, I don't fancy twatting my knuckles off a subframe today.
You don't have to, bro.
I'm gonna do something else.
Exactly.
But like, if you're a mechanic, nope.
Exactly. I have to go there. And like with HGV mechanics, it is literally, bro, it's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
When you talk about
I've seen some of the breaker bars.
Oh, bro, yeah, man. Yeah, inch drive guns and all that, like air guns and everything, three-quarter drive. Bro, like literally, like, you know when you're trying to undo bolts, you are literally swinging off it. It's heavy, bro. You come home from work, and you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're literally fucked. But don't get me wrong, I am who I am now today because of where I've been, so I wouldn't change it. But
it's nice to stay a bit clean, isn't it? No.
Oh, bro, exactly.
That's I'm like people. That's the thing. It's like people are like, oh, I miss when you used to be on the driveway in the piss wet through rain in the snow doing things. I'm like,
you miss it. I don't. You know what I mean?
I want to go and have a bottle of wine. Do you know what I mean? I want to have a bottle of rosé, put your feet up. Not all the time, but a little bit more. I mean,
of course.
When I was younger, there's nothing I'd like better than staying out till 12 o'clock at midnight with a fucking phone torch trying to get this fucking rounded bottle. Nah, mate, if it comes R4, right, that's a tomorrow job.
No, 100%.
But I mean, obviously, it sounds like I'm late. Well, probably I'm a bit lazier now, but you know, you got to just
you've been there, you've done that, innit?
You've got to move with yourself, and you got to keep yourself happy. It's just as important as keeping yourself happy, and it's about trying to find that balance of keeping yourself happy and keeping it interesting as well.
That's it. I think we to a certain extent, and it's quite clear from this conversation with yourself too, that we're trying to keep ourselves happy, but the main thing is we're trying to please everyone. Yeah, well, we're trying to keep everyone happy. It's so hard,
that's the thing. Like, the people who watch are the most important people.
Definitely.
And like, I mean, I have Patreon. And I always say every single time, like, I end a Patreon video, I thank them, because without them, I genuinely.
Oh, bro, we've been no ones.
Honestly,
are somebody's, but we wouldn't be able to live the way we're living and do the things we do. Like, you know what I mean? So, no, 100%. But it's weird, isn't it? Because we we kind of we're always aiming to please others.
That's the thing. Like,
You know
you've
what I mean?
always
we kind
got
of
to be
take other
so
people's opinions above ours sometimes.
But and there's always one video that's stuck in my mind. You've heard of Doug DeMauro? He's an American. He's crazy. He's basically a reviewer, but he'll do like a 30-40 minute video. And this guy's like, he's so particular. Like, he will read through the whole owner's manual before reviewing the car, and he does like top end cars.
Got you.
And he even like points out mistakes in the owner's manual and stuff. Like, he's that, but he's super fun to watch. And because he initially was a car journalist, so obviously he's super smart with cars. Yeah. But he did a video once. He was on about getting a new car, and he said everyone voted for this other one, and I think it was an old Ford GT. I think he wanted, and everyone voted for this other car on his Instagram. And he did a video, and he said, "Look, I haven't gone with what you guys have said, because here's an example of Tavares, these other guys. They've gone for what they've said." And he says, look at their views for the first 3 videos. He says, every single time the views drop off.
Got you.
And he says, so if I bought the car that you would have wanted and I didn't want, who's stuck with the car when the views drop off?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
So he says, so I've bought the car that I want. If the views are high, great. When they drop off, I'm not going to be that upset. I've got the car that I want.
Yeah.
So that sticks in my mind as well. See, I have this battle with myself of people are asking for the driveway videos, but then again, it's like, when the views drop, they want me to buy this car, but then who's stuck with that car when the views drop off?
For real.
So it's difficult, isn't it?
It's just finding that balance. It's finding that balance.
Yeah, and it is really hard to find that.
Yeah.
And the big thing for me was COVID. Like, I used to love my Japanese cars. I loved them. But then when COVID hit and there's no car meets going on, I'm like, ugh, what's this car actually good for?
Exactly.
It's good for getting attention and getting pictures at shows and getting Instagram followers and all that and this and that. Like, my Evo was the bollocks for doing that. I literally put a picture up of my Evo the other day, and I had like 4 or 5 times the likes I usually get. I was like, ugh. But then again, it's like when COVID stops, you've got this car and it's super unreliable, like just so uncomfortable, and that's what COVID was a big thing for me, because that's when I started getting the German car. That's when I got my M3 in COVID, because I was like, mate, this E90. Have you driven an E90? I'm sure you've driven an E90.
I owned one, yeah.
Mate, how good?
E92 M3 6MT manual, man.
Mate, you had a
manual.
Oh, yeah. How good are them cars?
It was, funnily enough, I've spoke about this before. Like, so before I had that, I had a 325D E92 LCI shape.
Best coupe.
I've still got one. Well, I've got 325D now,
mate.
right?
They're the bollocks. Like, that car is literally, I reckon that car is like one of the best round cars you can buy.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't do anything better than that.
That's a sick car. But when I bought, funnily enough, it was at the time I transitioned from being a tech that worked in a workshop to a mobile mechanic. So when I become a mobile mechanic, I got a van.
Mechanic. Oh,
yeah. So I went mobile, right?
Rough. I couldn't do that.
For London Fire Brigade. So it's slightly different. So I worked for London Fire Brigade for like 6 years.
Jesus.
And so it was actually cool. It was the best job of my life, actually. But when I got the van, I was like, I can have a fucking race car now.
Yeah.
I don't need to commute. Something that's sensible.
Car, yeah.
So I bought an E92 M3, and I went to see it, and someone had already X-piped it. It was Evolve Stage 2.
Right.
Already shout out to Evolve and Imran. And it had a X-pipe. Fuck it, mate. It sounded great. It sounded like a race car.
Yeah,
right?
they're so sick.
Bro, when I was in that car, it was like my first. It felt literally it was like my first race car. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
I loved it, bro. Like, it's still one of my favorite cars. And to control and to handle, I really learned
that chassis, mate. Oh
mate,
my
amazing,
god, that
bro.
drive. I genuinely think that is like literally one of the. I hate saying this, but that's the best car I've ever owned.
Wicked.
In terms
manual.
I mean,
lovely
the
gearbox.
Diff, oh, mate.
Revs over fucking 8,000 RPMs.
8,700 they rev to. 8,700 they rev to. But it was, I do regret getting rid of it. But because I had the Evo and the Sora and that. And then when they had the giveaway company, we got an Evo. I used to hate German cars. I used to hate BMWs. I used to hate them.
But was that because you didn't really know?
That's because I didn't really know.
Yeah.
That's because you get when you go to a car meet, it's some guy in a new M4 revving. That was my, And if you are that guy, I mean, I get it now. But at the time I didn't, because I was like, I was 1J. Exactly. If it's not a 1J, I don't want to know 2. All like the proper old school Japanese engines, which are incredible.
Bro, actually, I was the other way around to you. I kind of come up on the German stuff more so.
Right.
I've had a few different things, but I didn't really get the Japanese thing until I experienced it.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, this makes sense.
You just got to experience the right car.
Yes.
And I didn't hate German stuff. I just wouldn't have seen myself owning one. I like the stuff that shows like weight. Like the Japanese cars have so much character.
Yeah.
I like being that guy rock up to a meet with like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I like that. But then we got an E46 M3. It was a full track spec one. It was a Nürburgring car. And I was like, wow, this is pretty fucking sick. And then we got an E92, which was it was a
was it a red one you had?
I had a red one,
okay,
yeah.
cool,
But we got a one of the satin grey ones for the giveaway.
Got it.
And it was a touring car drive. It was his test car. And I remember being in that car. It had pole position Recaros, which
sick.
Mate,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is the best car I've ever been in my entire life. And I bought one the next day.
Wow.
I was like, this car is I was like, shit.
Do you know what so actually I've got two gripes with it. I think looking
What,
back
the United 2 M3?
Yes.
Right.
So first one is, yes, they sound amazing and they make you feel like a superhero, but they're not that fast in a straight line.
No, that's when I got rid of it.
Compared, because you got the C63, right?
And
everyone compares the two cars.
Yeah.
The C63 is on a different level when you're talking about speed. Compared to that, innit?
This is the thing, because it's like the M3 was the bollocks at everything, but it wasn't fast. If you've never driven one, it's a bit like driving a Honda.
You feel like you sound like you're going fast.
Yeah. Adam Ivel always says the M3 is a grown-up man's Honda.
Yeah, because he's got one too, isn't he?
He's got one, and I drove his. When I drove his, I didn't.
His one's sick.
His was standard when I drove it, so I didn't really get a bit of experience
now and everything. I think.
He's got he's got big AP brakes. Yeah, and then but. Yeah, in a straight line, they're just, unless you're at like 8K, that it's like,
literally.
And then you only miss something when you've not got it, don't
Exactly.
you? So I drove a mate C63. I was like, oh, this sounds sick.
And they sound
I'm
more
already paying
aggressive too,
£600 a year tax. Why have I not got the big boy V8? Fuck that 4 litre. Give me the 6.2. So I drove a mate. I was like, oh my God. And then I thought, getting one.
Would you agree with me saying that the C63 just does not handle like,
mate? It's a fucking boat,
bit
mate.
of a boat, yeah.
It's hard because I live like in and around London now, so it's like if someone said to me, I've toyed with going back to the M3 just because the drivetrain and the chassis in it, mate. And the C63's got an open diff, so it's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
So it's like the M3 was just predictable all the time,
Yes.
and if it was a little bit wet, the M3 is just the best thing ever.
Private. I love that car.
the being manual,
it turned me into a proper nutter.
a little bit wet because you can just set up on second gear.
Yeah.
And it was
Just a little bit of
super
clutch kick.
controllable,
Just a little-
and the throttle was just not so sensitive where you can come off and let it.
Yeah.
You know, you could be so majestic in the M3. you know what I mean with it. You know, so but the Z63, it's just the throttle's dead sensitive. You come off it just being open diff, snaps back, and it takes so much, and you can't run a corner in it fast. But
No.
it sounds the bollocks. It's automatic. It's better at fuel on the motorway. It's better than the fuel in the M3 on the motorway.
Really?
Because it's got 7 gears.
Okay.
And it's got a bigger engine. Cruising, it gets like 28 to the gallon if you just cruise at 70.
Oh,
But
interesting.
the M3 you wouldn't see anything over like 25.
Yeah.
Just because it's like it's a smaller engine and it's only 6 gears when you're on the motorway. It is like at like 3.5, 4.
Yeah.
But in terms of the M3, I'd say it is a better all round car.
Yeah, definitely.
If it was a little bit quicker.
I was thinking to myself, if I get a track car,
M3.
a manual E92 M3 would be like near on the dream. I feel for me.
I feel like if it was just a specific track car, I'd probably take an E46.
Okay.
If it was just
I've never driven one.
Oh, mate. Honestly, they are.
Are they better? Yeah.
I wouldn't say they're better.
They're slower.
They're slower and they don't sound as good. It sounds like it's an inline 6, so they don't sound as good.
It's still a
the
nice
one that I
raspy
drove
note
was
to
like top of the. It was literally. I can't remember what exhaust it had on. It was. Is it like an Eisenman exhaust?
Oh
like that?
yeah. Oh god, yeah. I think you
something
said it right.
like Eisenman exhaust. Yeah, and it had like a full
I think you're right.
induction. Kit through the grill. It was the bollocks. It was so fast, mate. Fully stripped, so fast.
That's it. It's a power to weight thing too, isn't it?
Power to weight.
Exactly. When you ship out cars, it's a different level.
But I feel, and I felt like the E46 felt more like truckable.
Okay.
Because obviously the E92's got a huge engine on the bonnet.
Yeah.
And now obviously the E92 is a better all-round car. But I suppose if I had a specific track car, I think I'd take an E46. I feel like it's a bit more raw.
Yeah.
Than the E92. But in terms of like not driving it just around the track all the time, the E92 is just.
It's got the mod cons.
It
still looks
got
fairly
good
modern.
speakers.
Still looks nice.
That's what annoyed about mine because I had like an 08 plate.
I had a 57.
Oh, did you? Mine might have been 56. I can't remember. It came with a private reg, M3, which was sick.
Yeah.
But I had to use a fucking aux cable in mine. I don't know if you had to do with yours.
Oh no! So at the time when I had mine like 6 years ago. So when I had mine, that wasn't. That was kind of the normal.
That was a normal thing, yeah.
Ish. So yeah, I think did it have Bluetooth?
Yeah,
no, it did. You couldn't play your tunes through Bluetooth,
but you can link with your phone.
But yes,
yeah,
that was an annoyance.
I had to keep putting an aux cable in, and that annoyed me.
Yeah. Especially when you're being in more modern cars.
Yeah, when you just
Apple CarPlay is like a madness, right?
Yeah, I mean the Merc's not got Apple CarPlay. Really. It's got Bluetooth, which is fine.
Apple CarPlay.
Have
you had a car with Apple CarPlay?
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Never owned.
It's a game changer.
I suppose it's easy with Waze and stuff.
Yes.
But I don't know about as long as I play tunes, I just have to put my phone up.
Yeah.
But and then the annoying thing was living in and outside London with a manual M3 because as you know the gearbox in them, they're fucking raw gearboxes, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're like
that's one of the things that didn't don't get me wrong, I love when everyone says like, a true driver's car is going to be a manual, right? But I remember racing a DCT one
so much
faster for one. For two, it had rev match on the downshifts too.
Sounds.
I was like, what the fuck? So it's even sounding better. And then I'm thinking, and then I'm reading reviews, and people are saying, look, we love M3s, the purest style of the manual gearbox. But in the E92, the DCT gearbox is so good, we'd pick it over the manual. I couldn't afford the DCT at the time.
Well, now it's the other way around, isn't it? The manual's becoming a bit more expensive.
I thought that was in the SMG E46.
Oh, right. Is the DCTs?
I feel like the DCT.
I would get it. If I was going to get another again, I'd definitely get a manual again. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Because
then I'd just get a normal diesel again, normal Audi diesel or whatever. Yeah. But that's what's great about the C63. The C63 gearbox is terrible.
That's another thing. It's slow, right? It's
so slow, but it makes it. That's what adds to the car because it's almost like the only way I can describe it. It's like having an NA to a turbo car. Turbo car because it's so unpredictable. You don't know when it's going to come in. When it comes in, it's hilarious. That's the C63 gearbox. Yeah. You put foot down. It might be about 10 minutes before it comes in, but then when it does,
yeah.
It's great. But what do you think about the new? Have you ever driven like the M2, the M4s and stuff?
I've driven the brand new M4.
Right.
I've owned a new M3.
The F80.
I owned the F80 M3. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Right. Cool. So,
because I reviewed one very recently.
So, coming from a Golf R. Yeah. Because I sold my Golf R and then bought that.
Right.
And having already had it kind of ingrained in my brain that an E92 or an M3 is a driver's car.
Yeah.
When I got back into it, it felt special again.
Right.
My problem was, there was gripes, right? But the noise, they sound like shit.
Yeah, it sounds like shit.
You can't make them sound good. The other thing,
I don't know why BMW do that.
The power. So basically, you can't put the power down in them until fourth gear, maybe.
But you found it was quite spinny.
Yeah.
Twitchy.
Yeah.
When I driven one, I was struggling to get it out.
Oh, well, mine was 640 brake.
Oh,
stage
fuck.
3.
Oh, yeah, this was standard.
But, even from standard, I felt broke. So basically, that's another thing. The gearbox, sit gearbox, if you keep it in setting 1 or 2, I think it is. If you put it in 3.
The aggressiveness, you mean?
The aggression.
Right, yeah.
So, you could literally be driving that car. See, this is where we might differ now. Because if you're saying you struggled to get the back end out, mine was stock, and when you were on the highest aggression mode, it was so snappy. If you're going around that corner, whatever, you like the back end will come out if you're on the throttle and it kicks. But I mean, look, from moving from that into my RS5 and now looking back on both of the cars, 100% I feel like the M3 is the better car, or M4 because it's the kind of same thing. But I rated it.
Right.
I rated it.
Did you like it?
I rated it. But again, I had it for near on a year.
Right.
I had a connection with it.
Right, okay.
The colour of it. I had a journey.
Was it blue, was it?
No, purple. I had an individual purple.
Oh, I do know this car. Sorry, I do know this car.
So
sorry, I do, yeah.
It was my baby. So I had, do you know what I mean? Had I just driven it once, it might have felt different. But go on, tell me your...
Well, because obviously, I'd recently... The E46, unbelievable car. E92, unbelievable car. And when I got on the F80, I was just like I explained in the video, I said, it feels like a rear-wheel drive Golf R.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's very similar.
Okay.
It was...
See, I didn't find that.
Did you not?
No, I found my RS5 felt like a bigger Golf R.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the F80.
Really?
No.
So you wouldn't have one?
I wouldn't have one.
Was it an M4?
M3.
Okay, so do you know? See, this is again.
I've never driven an M4. So I've driven the M2, and the M3
I've never driven
the
the
newer.
M2.
I've not driven the M4. The M2 is probably more fun than the M3.
Okay.
But still lacking a bit of because they
I
don't
find the
sound very
newest
good, do
one, the newer one, the G series,
they? Right.
G82. I don't know what it's called, but basically the new M4. Fuck knows what it is. But I drove
One with a big
those.
mouth.
The one with the big mouth, yeah, the grills, right?
Yeah.
But again, it might be a case of I just drove it for a day and didn't really get to live with it. But I definitely felt that didn't have the M soul of the
That's what I
predecessors.
thought about the F8. I thought it didn't have the same soul.
But saying that, I think that's quite. I think that's a given, right? Because let's talk about Japanese cars now. Yeah,
I was going to go on to that as well.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
A mid 90s, early 2000s Japanese car never is going to have the same feeling as a 2020 Japanese car.
Yeah.
As good as you might want to make it.
Yeah,
because everything's efficiency and anyone can drive it. Do you know? So I feel that you kind of got to take things with a pinch of salt and just.
You got to go with the times. I mean, it's like this similar sort of thing as we were saying before about people on YouTube. Like, you know, it's in the past. You can't replicate the past.
Exactly.
It's nice to be nostalgic about it, but unfortunately, you can't repeat the past.
Exactly. You got to move with the times.
Yeah. But yeah, with the for me as well, from having the cars that I've had, sound is so important to me.
100%.
Like, it's probably the most important thing about the car. Take my Merc, for example. It's shit at everything else, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
But obviously, and it's not the car manufacturer's fault. It's just the way you can't put big V8s and stuff. I do like how the C63s are still sticking with V8s. I like that.
Yeah, but I'm hearing, and I might be wrong, are they not going 4-cylinder? That's what I'm hearing.
Oh no!
I'm hearing they're going 4-cylinder.
That's straight. It's straight. Everything's going down, isn't it?
It's mad. I think
this is what I don't understand about the BMWs, because it's an inline six. Like that's the recipe for the best sounding engines of all time. RB, JZ, they're all inline six. Why do these sound so shit? You can't blame it on the recipe as well, because it's six. You know, inline six cylinder, and you've got. I don't understand how they sound so bad. You know, because if you put a V8, no matter what, it's going to sound good.
It's going to sound good. Yeah. If you.
I don't think I've heard a bad sounding V8 ever.
No. I think you can get lazier V8s, but you're still
there's like the
out of interest, right? What's your you just mentioned both of them? What are you more of a 2JZ or an RB guy?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've never had a car. I've never had a car. I've driven RB25s, never 26s, never driven a GTR, and I've driven a lot of one. I've owned a 1J.
Yeah.
I like things which aren't as liked by others. I like things that
you like to be
rare.
the kind of
I like
slightly
that's why, like, if I go to a meet and there's like a 1980s Jag on coilovers and wheels, I'm like, that's the bollocks. He's a geezer. Like, I would look at that rather than like a Hurricane Lamborghini all day long. I like things which are unique. So I like the 1Js over the 2Js, just because they're not the usual choice. Everyone knows what 2J is. It's in the Supra, great, whatever. But 1J, it's like the quieter little brother that's you know, he's there, but no one really knows. And obviously the 1Js they rev higher, so obviously people do the 1.5Js where they take the 2J bottom ends and the 1J top ends, because the heads rev happy, but the bottom end's strong. So a lot of people do the 1.5Js. So there's a good thing about the 1J, but with the RBs, they just sound like a fucking dinosaur, mate.
That's the thing, bro. I can't, like, literally, I've driven every GTR there is. Well, I haven't. That's a lie. I've driven a 32, 33, 34, 35.
What was the 34 like?
Amazing.
Is it
amazing?
Yeah.
But maybe the price has got something to do with this, but I still think I'm a R32 guy.
Right, I wouldn't want to own an R34 GTR.
It's too expensive.
To me, it's a.
They're not worth that money. Let me tell you that now. I love them, but they ain't worth 100 grand. Let me tell you that.
None of the fucking Japanese cars are worth that much money. It's like people putting Chasers up for 20 grand. I'm sorry, everyone. Like, I fucking love Chasers. But they're not worth 20 grand. That is not a 20 grand car. Back in Japan, that was a taxi back in the fucking day. Like, the people use them as like it's a comfortable car. That's what's annoying me about the Japanese market at the minute.
It's supply and demand right now, and it's cool.
Yeah.
And because it is, look, they're becoming less and less and fewer. They ain't coming back, back to it. They ain't gonna make them like that again.
No, that's the thing. I mean, it's just simple sales, isn't it? But it is as a car enthusiast, it is annoying.
Yeah. No, as I say, I've driven
Sylvia's like 35 grand. What? It's just
wild.
what?
It's getting wild. They're amazing cars. Like,
but if you compare someone like I hate they have that character, but performance wise, they're not. They're not. You know,
not compared to today. How easy power is extracted from some of these smaller engine cars too.
Like some of the Evos and stuff, like, they're amazing. But if you look at some of the German things and their rivals back in the day, they're much more capable cars. but everyone just loves Japanese stuff, don't they?
That's it.
Well, and I'm that guy. Like I
love.
love
I'm addicted.
Japanese stuff. Like love it, even if it's not even a fast one. If I see an LS400 just cruising on a nice set of wheels, I'm like, mate, you are the guy.
Do you know what? I'm not that into it.
Right.
I mean, look, I'm respectful, or I can understand it, and I think certain things are cool. But it's those. For me, it's more like, the big single turbo mid 90s Jap cars that really do it for me. Those raw experiences, those you know when you're driving the car and you really feel like you're fucking dying in this car.
Literally,
like, what I mean?
There's nothing helping you.
Exactly.
That's what it was with the Sora. It wasn't a big power or anything. It was just a standard 1J with obviously the boost turned up, but the experience you get from it, and
you can't replicate.
Yeah, they're just like the R154 gearbox, which is a super gearbox. They're just like so annoying, but they just make, because they're so like 5 speed. It was great, but and then now it's all
exactly. The car will drive itself, mate. You know what I mean? Anyone could drive it, but it is what it is, and it's horses for courses. And you know what? I love the modern stuff too, for ease of use, and you know what I mean. We love a car that goes fast quite easily, because you just don't have to put too much effort in all the time. Like, you know what I mean? It's good to take an old school Jap car out on a weekend. You don't want to live with it every day. Some people do, but I know you kind of want to keep that for a special not special occasion. You want to keep it special by not driving it every day if you can. And
then now, especially with the pricing as well, it gets more and more paranoid taking them out in the rain, taking them out in the snow.
You ain't gonna see no one really driving R34s.
If I had an R34, I wouldn't even take it out. It's just a headache.
Exactly.
Imagine someone touching it or like scratching it or whatever. Like what?
Bro, I filmed an OG battle the other day, right? And I'm not sure when this is coming out, but I think this will probably come out after the OG battle. 900 brake horsepower Supra versus 800 brake horsepower R34 GTR. I have never in my life seen anyone send an R34 as hard as this brother was sending it, bro.
I'm guessing the R34. Well, how long was it over? Is it a mile? Is it?
No, so 0 to 60.
Yeah.
Quarter mile. So timed 0 to 60, timed quarter mile drag race, and then roll race to the quarter mile.
Okay. Supra must have won.
So actually, this will probably be out now. So
right. Yeah, Supra
didn't win anything.
What? Even on the rolling?
The roll, it come close.
Right.
I think about a bonnet length, but I don't know, because I haven't seen the final edit of this video yet. But I think it might be because the guy in the R34 missed the gear change slightly. But this guy, bro, sending it. Like this car, like how it should be driven.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's
not with the price tag now.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got 3.
Shit.
And this is his kind of least valuable one.
Is this? It's not one of the JM Import guys. That was just
no. It's a fella who I've already featured. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's a white one, 800 brake horsepower. It's actually stroked to a 2.8.
Oh, I think I've seen the thumbnails. Has he got like a sick kit on the front of it?
Yeah. It's the Z-Tune kit.
Right, mate. Oh, it's so wide.
Yes. Oh, bro. But
so
the
good.
sound of this thing, when he sent, bro, it was just so epic to see that happen. It just cemented my love for the RBs. I got love for the 2Js, or I don't really know a lot about 1Js because I haven't had much experience with them. But it would take a lot to sway me from that straight 6 big fucking.
The good thing about them as well is it's the tone. Like a lot of cars, like you could straight pipe a JZ or an RB, and it will never ever be like, oh, I don't know, mate. That's because you have this really nice deep tone. Like like a lot of the drifters, they straight pipe them, and they're not loud. They're just like when you straight pipe a new car today, it's like, it's like such a high.
It's like tuning a fine woodwind instrument. Like, you know what I mean? You straight pipe it and a nicer noise comes out. These, you sound like fartboxing.
And it's like the new BMWs, like you take that recipe of it and they just, I don't understand why they sound like that. I can't get it.
Who knows?
Don't know. That's why I appreciate the C63s and stuff, because they do a lot with the, like with my 60s, it's a firing pattern which makes it sound like that.
Interesting.
Apparently, that's what I've been told. I'm not a big German. I'm not a big
sounded really clever there, bro. Oh, shit,
it's the firing pattern. Yeah, but it's like, I don't think they don't put that much thought into the sound anymore. No. It's all about track times and all that.
It's emissions too now. It's killing it all, bro. Yeah. It's killing it all. Like, but what can you do? But bro, listen, we've done over 2 hours.
Shit, mate.
I think this is probably the longest one.
We've not even talked about much.
Me and you can just fucking keep going.
I know, man.
You know what I mean? When you're a petrol head, like, there's conversations to be had. But I think one day we'll have to get you back on for real too.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. I've had a good time. It's like it's like fuck 2 hours. Jesus.
Over 2 hours, bro.
Jesus
so
Christ.
It's crazy how time flies. But when you're passionate about something, it's easy to talk, right?
It is, yeah.
So but what's next for the channel before we go? Are you thinking about it? Are you just
thinking about it? I have over the past couple of weeks I have had a serious thought about it, and I've potentially thought maybe I need to get away from my creature comforts and go back into what people enjoy watching.
Interesting.
I have toyed with potentially getting rid of the C63.
Okay.
Because
is that for to
for the
please
channel?
everyone else?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much, yeah. Because at the end of the day, like without the people on YouTube, like
What can you do?
what can you do?
Yeah.
And I literally had a conversation with my girlfriend today. It's almost like when I'm driving it, I absolutely love that car. I do love it because it does everything I want. But it isn't me. Like it isn't me. It's like it isn't. I've got quite an extroverted personality when it comes to cars, and I've been known for that in a way. And then now I do feel like I'm letting myself down a little bit by having it.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, going back to what you were saying, like the old school Jag is the one that will grab your attention. That's not that car, is it?
It's not showing the person I am. And people have said that to me, and I get it. So I have had a think over the past few days, and I think I'm going to have a serious think over the next week or so as well of what I want to do, because I do know that it's not me, and people have been quite vocal about how, you know, they miss they can see the passion's gone a little bit, and that's just because I've got a Merc. You know what I mean? Like if you said to me if you spoke to me 2 years ago and said you were going to own a Merc, I'm like, really? As my main car?
Yeah.
And no offense,
sometimes you need to experience it though.
Yeah, and I've
experienced
the M3 and I've experienced the C63, and they're amazing cars in their own right. But like now shows are back on and meets are back on, I do need to think about what I'm going to do, because I would never ever take my M3 or my C63 to a meet, and I'd never take it to a show and expect it to get on stand or anything. And that's where like a lot of my channels come from, like meeting people at shows and stuff. Like I was that guy always going to shows and and I have felt like I've kind of not let myself down a little bit, but just stepped away from who I am. And I do really need to have a think about what I'm going to do. And I mean, it's not a cheap car, the Merc, so and it's not a cheap car to run and tax or anything. So I have thought about if I could have that and something else, and something else that I'm really going to be really excited about. Probably couldn't, but I'm thinking, I'm having a look, but definitely try to get back to my roots a little bit more and please the people who needs to be pleased.
Yeah,
the people who were there from the start, because they didn't sign up to see a Mercedes.
Yeah. I hear that. But I wish you the best for that. I wish you the best.
Thank you, mate.
Where can people find you?
So it's just my name, Lee Lockwood, on YouTube. I've had. It's actually you're like focused on one thing or a couple of things, but like mine's like all over the place. So, but yeah, Lee Lockwood on YouTube, and I'd like to shout out again True Rally if I can. So
bro, quickly tell us.
Yeah, just
about
quickly. So we me and my business partner Will, obviously we know the other rallies out there and stuff, and they're really exclusive to if you own this sort of car, you can come. Yeah. We kind of got that vibe. I went on a rally and I kind of felt like the guy that was a bit of the outcast, because I was driving around with Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and there's me. And
the Lamborghinis and Ferraris don't really want you there.
No, they don't want me. I just felt like a bit of an outcast, and then from what I pay, and then for what these people are offering for them, it's too exclusive. That's what we got. So we wanted to just create a rally where people like me, like normal guys with normal cars with not 100,000 in the bank, could come and do it. So we just created a rally which was cheap. Well, yeah, cheap really. It's cheap. It's
How much is it?
What you get. We're doing one at the end of September next month, and it's £200.
Oh wow!
So we start in Hereford. We go all through South Wales, through Brecon Beacons. We have Grand Prix karting in Cardiff. Okay. We have like a hotel just outside, and then we have like a big VIP night with all drinks and all food and everything included. Okay. And that's £200.
That's sick. And what's that over? 2 days?
That one's over 1 day, and then we have something like a late checkout with it's got a pool and everything in the morning. So we just wanted. We started it off where we go. Have you heard of the North Coast 500? Have you been up there in Scotland?
I've never been to Scotland.
So that's where it started off. I was like, really want to go, but what are the roads like up there? Can you even drive? Is the fuel stations? It's so secluded up there. It's like being in Norway. So we was like, well, we'll go up and then plan the whole route. So it was a 3-day thing, plan the whole route, all hotels, everything's included with that for £400. So, but obviously we had to cancel it because of COVID, but £400. So all your routes planned. You get activities each day, all your drinks, all the night, all the hotels, all the food, like breakfast, dinner, and tea is included. Sorry, I'm northern. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
That's fine.
So everyone's excited for that one next year, but because it's in Scotland, their rules are a bit behind ours, so we have to cancel it again till next year. But that was £400, and it was just obviously you sticker up all your cars and everything like that. It's like a rally, but just for people who don't have 100 grand in
well,
your
that's
bank.
a good niche thing. Yeah, no, 100%. We'll leave links links to that in the description. Too,
No,
so
thank you,
people
mate.
can
That'd
check
be
that out.
really nice.
And yeah, of course, your YouTube and your socials or whatever you send me. Just no porn sites.
No porn sites, mate. I won't send any pictures of me butlering unless you want them personally.
It's personal.
Yeah,
personal
one. But yeah, no, I'll just send the YouTube and then the True Value. That'd be great.
Sick. Well, bro, thank you so much for your
Thanks for
time.
inviting me, mate.
And,
Yeah, it's been
nice
to
kicking
come
it and getting
on.
to
I
know
know.
you, bro. Sick.
2 hours, bro.
I know.
Fucking
Check it out. But yeah, bro. Guess we'll end it here.
Right. Thank you much. See you
Thank
later.
bro. Nice one.